rougher village we make our stand. Pride and power across this land. With convicts filed we can't be denied. Every rougher plays with fearless pride. Go big green, go big green, go big green. O-L-O-U-G-E-G-R-S. Kickoff crew, we're the best. Village strong, proud and mean. Roughers forever, go big green. There is only one Roughers, forever proud, forever true. There is nothing tougher than a rougher dog, and the village will carry us through. Go big green, go big green. Rougher village, half a dog. Weapons on the field, rougher dog. Where's the home of rougher pride? Rougher village, clear and white, we stand as one. Muskogee strong till the game is won. Friday night lights, the crowd ignites. The village roars, the future's bright. Coach Convict leads, we answer the call. The rougher dogs will give their all. There is only one Roughers, the name that will never fall. There is nothing tougher than a rougher dog. We will rise above them all. Go big green. In the rougher village we make our stand. Pride and power across this land. With convicts fire we can't be denied. Every rougher plays with fearless pride. There is only one Roughers, the name that will never fall. There is nothing tougher than a rougher dog. We will rise above them all. Go big green. In the rougher village we make our stand. Pride and power across this land. With convicts fire we can't be denied. Every rougher plays with fearless pride. There is only one Roughers, the name that will never fall. There is nothing tougher than a rougher dog. We will rise above them all. Go big green. In the rougher village we make our stand. Pride and power across this land. With convicts fire we can't be denied. Every rougher plays with fearless pride. Go big green, 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 go big green. There is only one Roughers, forever proud, forever true. There is nothing tougher than a rougher dog, and the village will carry us through. Go big green, go big green. Rougher village. In the rougher village we make our stand. Pride and power across this land. With convicts fire we can't be denied. Every rougher plays with fearless pride.
Yo, where we at?
Rougher village, who runs the field? Rougher.
Rougher village, hands up, rougher dog. Rougher dog.
Where's the home of rougher pride? Rougher village.
Fight to stand as one. Muskogee strong till the game is won.
Friday night lights, the crowd ignites. The village roars, the future's bright. Coach Convict leads, we answer the call. The rougher dogs will give their all. Friday night lights, the crowd ignites. The village roars, the future's bright. Coach Convict leads, we answer the call. The rougher dogs will give their all. There is only one Roughers, the name that will never fall. There is nothing tougher than a rougher dog. We will rise above them all. Go big green. In the rougher village we make our stand. Pride and power across this land. With convicts fire we can't be denied. Every rougher plays with fearless pride. There is only one Roughers, the name that will never fall. There is nothing tougher than a rougher dog. We will rise above them all. Go big green. In the rougher village we make our stand. Pride and power across this land. With convicts fire we can't be denied. Every rougher plays with fearless pride. There is only one Roughers, the name that will never fall. There is nothing tougher than a rougher dog. We will rise above them all. Go big green. Rougers. Convicts crew, we're the best. Village strong, proud.
proud and mean. Roughers forever, go big green. Final UGHERS, Cadets crew, we're the best. Village true, proud and mean. Roughers forever, go big green. Final
The toughest on the field, Rough and Dog. Where's the home of Rough and Pride? Rough and Village, green and white, we stand as one. Muskogee strong till the game is won. Friday night lights, the crowd ignites, the village roars, the future's bright. Coach Condick leads, we answer the call. The Rougher Dogs will give their all. There is only one Roughers, the name that will never fall. There is nothing tougher than a Rougher Dog. We will rise above them all. Go big green. In the Rougher Village, we make our stand. Pride and power across this land. With Condick's fire, we can't be denied. Every Rougher plays with fearless pride. There is only one Roughers, the name that will never fall. There is nothing tougher than a Rougher Dog. We will rise above them all. The big green. In the Rougher Village, we make our stand. Pride and power across this land. With Condick's fire, we can't be denied. Every Rougher plays with fearless pride. There is only one Roughers, the name that will never fall. There is nothing tougher than a Rougher Dog. We will rise above them all. O-U-G-H-E-R-S, Condick's crew, we're the best. Village strong, proud and mean. Roughers forever, go big green. Go big green. There is only one Roughers, forever proud, forever true. There is nothing tougher than a Rougher Dog. In the village will carry us through. Go big green. Go big green. Yo, where we at? Rougher Village. Who runs the field? Rougher. Rougher Village. Where's the home of Rougher Pride? Rougher Village. Green and white, we stand as one. Muskogee strong till the game is won. Friday night lights, the crowd ignites, the village roars, the future's bright. Coach Condick leads, we answer the call. The Rougher Dogs will give their all. There is only one Roughers, the name that will never fall. There is nothing tougher than a Rougher Dog. We'll rise above them all. Go big green. Go big green. In the Rougher Village, we make our stand. Pride and power across this land. With Condick's fire, we can't be denied. Every Rougher plays with fearless pride. There is only one Roughers, the name that will never fall. There is nothing tougher than a Rougher Dog. We'll rise above them all. Go big green. In the Rougher Village, we make our stand. Pride and power across this land. With Condick's fire, we can't be denied. Every Rougher plays with fearless pride. There is only one Roughers, the name that will never fall. There is nothing tougher than a Rougher Dog. We will rise above them all. Go big green, green. Go big green. In the Rougher Village, we make our stand. Pride and power across this land. With Condick's fire, we can't be denied. Every Rougher plays with fearless pride. Go big green. Go big green. Go big green. O-U-G-H-E-R-S, Condick's crew, we're the best. Village strong, proud and mean. Roughers forever, go big green. There is only one Roughers, forever proud, forever true. There is nothing tougher than a Rougher Dog, and the village will carry us through. Go big green. Go big green.
What a difference an hour makes. Right at the stroke of 5 o'clock this afternoon here at Custer Stadium in Bartlesville, a torrential thunderstorm rolls through that left the artificial surface thoroughly soaked. But give Mother Nature an hour. She pushes the weather through the Bartlesville area, and we're ready for an exciting night of Rougher football. Hi, everybody. Bill Huddleston back along with Nick Hampton on Rougher TV and our radio partners, Okie Country, 101.7 KTFX. Nick, Ruffers on the road again. It seems like we should be getting some royalties from Willie Nelson.
You're right. Ruffers again on the road playing Bartlesville. Again, a team that has kind of struggled this year. They're 0-5 on the year. They do have one good athlete, at least in their quarterback, Michael Kent. He's passed well, passing for 1,200 yards so far, hitting well over 60% in terms of completion. So he can throw the balls. It's just a matter of whether their defense can stop anybody, and that's really been the problem for them. And so the Ruffers tonight should, and we say that should, be able to control this game.
Well, it is a series that this tonight will be the 80th meeting all time. Muskogee's won 49 of those previous 79 meetings. But 2 years ago, Nick, you'll remember here at Bartlesville, Muskogee had to hold on late. Of course, that was when P.J. Wallace was running the football for Bartlesville before he played for the Ruffers the following year. So, anything and everything can happen, but nevertheless, we'll see what goes for the Muskogee Ruffers here tonight against Bartlesville. Like you said, Ruffers should get the win, but coulds and woulds and shoulds sometimes don't send you home with a happy face.
Right.
It's exactly right. Bartlesville 0-5 on the season, limiting their opponent or just scoring right under 20 points a ball game. The Ruffers have kind of amped up their offense over the last 2 weeks with consecutive big wins, 55-29 at Ponca, and last week the 63-0 shutout of Putnam City West. The Ruffers at home next Friday night against Capitol Hill. It'll be a Thursday night game, not a Friday night game. But here on the road at Custer Stadium, it's the Bruins and the Ruffers. And the Ruffers a chance to stay atop of the district standings, which right now you've got Muskogee at 2-0, Sand Springs at 2-0, and Sapulpa with their win last night over Putnam City West actually standing on top of the standings in the district at 3-0. But those things will all level out before the night is done. We've got a big pregame show to bring you. When we come back, we're going to give you a chance to meet one of the enforcers. He wears the jersey number 11. His name is Kyron Cope, the strongest Ruffer on the field, and perhaps the strongest player on the field tonight. He'll join us in our countdown to kickoff after this timeout on Ruffer Football in 2025.
Folks, Kyle Edwards, GMC in Muskogee. I was born and raised in Muskogee. Our family has owned the GMC dealership for over 50 years. We take great pride in being in the Muskogee community. Things have changed over the years, but one thing remains the same, our desire to take care of our customers. Looking for a new GMC truck or SUV? We've got them, and you have our commitment to give you the best buying experience around. From sales, parts, or service, we are here for you. You have my promise to give you the best selection, best price, and the most for your trade-in at 1600 North Main in Muskogee or KyleEdwardsGMC.com.
In times of need, it's comforting to see faces of people you know and trust. Cornerstone Funeral Home in Muskogee cherishes the opportunity to be there for you and your family in life's most challenging times when friends are most important. Cornerstone Funeral Home and Crematory welcomes the opportunity to answer any questions regarding planning and pre-arrangements for you and your loved ones. Experience the difference. Cornerstone Funeral Home, 1830 North York in Muskogee, where you'll find faces you know and reputations you trust.
Welcome back to Ruffer Football tonight. Away from home once again, Muskogee Ruffers taking on the Bruins of Bartlesville in a homecoming night for Bartlesville. We bring in one of the Ruffers who was very successful a week ago and even had the scoop and score back against Ponca City. Kyron Cope, talk to me about how you feel like this season has gone so far.
I think it's starting to really piece itself together as a team and just together. We had a shaky start to the season, obviously, but it's really piecing together, and we're finally starting to see our potential as a team, and we're just trying to get better and better every week till we can go win the district and then playoffs.
Karen, your defensive skills obviously have been well touted in preseason publications and all of that, but how do you evaluate your performance through the first 5 games?
I think I've been doing pretty good, doing my assignments, doing my job across the board. I'm pretty happy with all the stats I have so far through midway through the season, and I just want to keep on getting better.
I know for you it's not about your stats, it's about the team stats, but taking a look at the physical advantages you have. You're the strongest guy on the field. How do you use that to your success on the defensive spot?
Well, first play of the game, you just got to come off the ball and show them it's going to be a long night, you just got to put your foot on their neck and just keep it the whole night, and it really just puts fear into them, and they'll start backing off on and then when they start doubling and triple team, you're doing your job right. That's how after the first game against Booker T, every team's been double team and triple team.
So you can't get frustrated. You just got to wait and take your chances when they occur, like you did in the Ponca City game. How hyped up were you when you saw that ball bouncing on the turf and there was nobody but the goal line in front of you? You got to scoop and score.
Yeah, I just seen that ball, and I was like, this is the chance. It's like every D lineman's dream to get a scoop and score, so I just took it.
Now, you've watched your opponent tonight in Bartlesville and what they like to do offensively. Where can you and this rougher defense take advantage and put their offense on the sideline and keep points off the board just like you did a week ago against PC West?
We just got to come out and attack. We want to get 3 and outs. Don't give their offense any momentum. If they get some momentum, they're a team that could take it. They're an all-around team. They're more efficient and definitely a better team than what we played last week. So we just got to really be prepared.
So with a solid defensive performance, Coach Bryant, Coach Condit comes to Kyron Cope and says, okay, buddy, you get to pick the post-game victory meal. What are you going to put on the plate?
I know it's expensive, but lamb chops. I haven't had lamb chops in such a long time. Lamb chops, mashed potatoes, collard greens, and I think some potato salad.
All right, well, let's hope the Ruffers can put that type of plate in front of the guy who wears the number 11 jersey, Kyron Cope. He's our guest in our pregame Get to Know the Ruffers. Back with head coach Dale Condit after this timeout on Ruffer Football 2025.
In sports, having the right winning strategy is often the difference between winning and losing. The same is true when you need legal representation. For more than 15 years, the law offices of Michael A. Finnerty have successfully provided the winning strategy with excellence and integrity for the people of the Muskogee area in matters of personal injury, social security disability, and workers' compensation issues. The law office, Muskogee trusts Michael A. Finnerty, ready to develop a winning strategy. Michael A. Finnerty, 436 Court Street in Muskogee. Call 687-1155. Online at finnertylaw.com.
Brunt's Barbecue serves up hand-rubbed, slow-cooked goodness. Anytime you're feeding a few hundred, hey, we're just tailgating with friends. Call the experts, Brunt's Barbecue. Ribs, brisket, burnt ends, mouth-watering hot link, and smoked chicken, where everything is made from scratch, from the barbecue sauce to the banana pudding. Give us a try, and you won't be disappointed. Brunt's Barbecue, 918-681-3900. Brunt's Barbecue, slow-cooked goodness in Muskogee.
Welcome back on Ruffer Football. Time to go into the locker room with the head coach of the Muskogee Ruffers, Dale Condit. Obviously, things turning in the right direction. Back-to-back wins coming off a shutout last week, 63-zip over PC West.
Yeah, it was a good night for us. We got the ball to a lot of different players. Pretty much everybody on the roster got to play a little bit, which does a lot for morale, especially those young guys going into practice the next week. So I felt like we did what we wanted to do, and that was build off the momentum that we created at Ponca City. So things are going in the right direction. Now we just need to keep that going as we go into this Bartlesville game.
You knew at the start of the season it was going to take time. It was going to take time to put all the parts together. You're halfway through the season. As fast as that has gone, how do you evaluate the overall performance of this year's squad?
Well, I wasn't real pleased with the start. Probably the Booker T game in particular. It felt like we just did not come out and execute very well at all. But as we've gone through those tough times, I think we've grown and we've been battle tested, and now I feel like we're on the right path. I think we're headed in the direction that we all thought we could be headed. Now we just need to build off of that, do things right, and hopefully continue to get wins in district play and set ourselves up to have a chance to win this district.
And like we've mentioned previous times, I mean, it's still everything within your reach. You're into 2 games in district play. You're 2-0. You got your plus 15 points. Couldn't have it much better than that.
No, and you want to stay in control of your own destiny, which means you first of all you win. You got to win every week. If you lose one along the way, then you're going to need someone else to lose, or some points or district points, things like that, to come into play. So we just got to take care of business each Friday night, and right now the focus is on Bartlesville.
Once again, for the 4th time in the first 6 games of the year, you're on the dog. You're on the bus, making the long road trip. Ruffers seem to be comfortable playing on the opponent's home field.
Yeah, I felt like, Ponca City had a nice facility, nice environment, and our guys performed very well in that. I felt like we came out very focused in that game. So, I don't see us having any issues with being on the road. I think Muskogee players in general are used to taking these longer trips. So, I think we'll be just fine with the environment, and we'll be ready to play.
Overall, what have you seen from studying the Bruins' performance? I mean, they've yet to win a ball game, and just like last week, the players know what the records are. How do you keep them at that high focus like they had going into the Ponca City game?
Well, and we've told them that, we have to continue to focus on us. Bartlesville is a well-coached team. They do things right. They do things offensively. When you watch, you're like, boy, if you're not lined up right, they're going to get you there. And then they're always lined up well defensively. So they're going to do things right. I think their quarterback does a good job of both running and throwing the ball. They have a receiver, Gavin Thomas, that I think is a very capable player. Lineman Landry Holmes. It's a really good lineman, just a sophomore, but I think he's very active and a good player. So they've got some really good players, and I'm sure each week right now they're still clawing to find their way into the playoffs, and they're looking for a breakout game. We just got to make sure that that's not against us.
We'll take a timeout. We'll come back and talk offensive game plan with Mason Fine. But first, this break as you're watching to listen to Rougher Football in 2025.
Pioneer Abstract, proudly serving residential and commercial customers throughout Muskogee County since 1905. Serving banks, mortgage companies, and mortgage brokers with refinancing, purchase, 1031 tax-deferred exchanges, along with full escrow services and more. Pioneer Abstract offers the convenience of centralized services for escrow accounts, title insurance, and title searches. Pioneer Abstract, here yesterday, here today, and here tomorrow at 412 West Broadway in downtown Muskogee, or call Pioneer Abstract at 683-2904.
Green Country has never been more connected. This summer, get up to 4 phones on us. Choose from the newest Apple and Samsung devices. Plus, you can save big with our unlimited talk, text, and data plans. Visit us today in-store or online at bravadowireless.com.
Certain restrictions apply. See store for details.
At J. Hodge Chevrolet in Muskogee. Shop Silverados, Trailblazers, Colorados, and more. More new Chevys and top dollar for trade-in. 144 West Shawnee.
Rougher Football again tonight from Bartlesville. Time to go in the offensive locker room and talk with the coordinator of the Rougher offense that had a pretty successful night last Friday night against PC West. We bring in Mason Fine. Overall, through 5 games, what kind of grade do you give your offensive unit? Obviously, it's one that's gone from the bottom of the letter closer to the top.
Well, I think if you look at the last 2 weeks, especially last week, don't look at the scoreboard. I kind of walked off that field a little upset, and I think it was warranted after going back and watching film. Our team average grade by positions was a little bit lower than the week before, so I think we came out there a little sloppy and didn't come up and play to our standards and our level of execution. So you stay on those guys. You don't fall back, to who you're playing in the competition. You keep your standards high, and I think we had a great week of practice this week. I think we took that next step of getting better.
It's still a maturation process for the quarterback. Cason Delgado, obviously another good night throwing the football, but he did have the 2 picks that kept 2 more touchdowns off the scoreboard.
Yeah, I think, and Cason will tell you this, he made one, bad decision on those picks, especially, when we were, booting to the left, and he didn't see the boundary safety or the safety there sitting on the hash, and he can't do that. I think, he knows that. We go through our reads. The reads are sacred, and, but, he takes coaching, he learned from it, and then the other pick, sometimes interceptions aren't on the quarterback. I looked at him. I said, man, I would have done the same thing. Yeah, press man, safety's off the hash. And it was a great teaching moment for Nunu. It's something we work in drills every single day of what Coach Norm calls the Jerry Rice drill of separating late, and he kind of wants to go up and do a jump ball. And against, I think his name was Obama Bell, number 1. He's a great athlete and made a heck of a play.
Let's talk now about the offensive game plan for tonight against Bartlesville. What kind of defensive problems do they pose to the Rougher offensive machine?
So they've shown early in the season, an odd, but the last 2 games against Sapulpa and Sand Springs, they kind of went to an even. So a little bit of a 4-2-5 that nickel will go to the field sometimes. So I think, they have great athletes in the secondary. They have really good defensive ends. They're quick. They're fast. So I think, those defensive ends could, give us problems here and there. But I think if we do our job, we're physical up front, we can run between the tackles. I see if our O-line comes to play and our running backs, I see us, having some good success on the ground, a little bit more than, I want better efficiency in the run game, so I think we can get that tonight. Coach DeVork's done a great job with them, so has Coach Mays with our running back. So hopefully we have a little bit more success there than we've had this season running the ball. And then, From what they've shown on film, any defense can come in and kind of change their game plan. But what they've shown on film is more of a, bend but don't break type of defense playing off. So, which, again, we got to do our job over and over. Don't get bored taking a profit and make smart decisions as a quarterback.
When that run game works, it makes the passing game that much more proficient. It gives you also a chance to use the quick outs and then take your strikes.
Yeah, I think in any offense, if you can have an efficient run game, it opens up, all the doors for you. So, hopefully we get this run game going early, and then that opens up all the doors for throwing the ball and setting up play action and stuff like that. When you can't run the ball, I think you've seen what happened in the first 3 weeks. So we got to be able to run the ball, and our guys are locked and loaded, and I think, we're going to have a successful night.
Is there a particular key for performance by the offense that if you do this, the numbers will follow?
I think just do your job and play fast, play urgently. I think the last 2 weeks you can see our guys are starting to practice a little bit faster, and you're starting to see it on film. So as long as they go out there, don't think, and play fast, I think we'll have a pretty good night.
Mason Fine with some offensive thoughts. We'll check the defensive game plan with Travis Bryant, but first this time out on Rougher Football in 2025.
At J. Hodge Chevrolet in Muskogee. Shop Silverados, Trailblazers, Colorados, and more. More new Chevys and top dollar for trade-in. 144 West Shawnee.
Green Country has never been more connected. This summer, get up to 4 phones on us. Choose from the newest Apple and Samsung devices. Plus, you can save big with our unlimited talk, text, and data plans. Visit us today in-store or online at bravadowireless.com.
Certain restrictions apply. See store for details.
This land was a tapestry of Indian nations and tiny towns that grew into great cities. Bank First is loyal to the shared mission of growth and success that built Oklahoma. That's why in more than 50 communities statewide, our banks are run by local leaders who stick together and work hard to continue unlocking Oklahoma's great promise. Bank First, loyal to Oklahoma, loyal to you.
Muskogee Ruffers back on the road. Seems like the most friendly place for Ruffer football here in 2025. We bring in Travis Bryant. Your defensive team's got to love getting dressed in the opponent's locker room on the road.
Yeah, so far we've performed pretty good on the road, especially in district play. So we're looking forward to the challenge at Bartlesville.
Give your defense a grade through the first 5. I mean, it's hard to believe we're halfway through the season. How would you put a grade level to the performance in the first 5 outings?
I don't know if I'd put a letter grade on it, but, if I was grading us, we were sitting there probably about a B. But we're getting there. There's some things. It takes time. It's a new defense. There's some, new schemes in the back end as far as coverages. So, hopefully we're shoring that stuff up and getting better each week.
Obviously, posting the shutout last week kind of shows that the defense is coming of age. But now, tonight, it's a different look in Bartlesville. It's a ball club that, if they're able to do what they like to do, move the chains, run a lot of plays, and then sometimes throw the deep ball.
Yeah, this will be a different challenge this week. They're going to give you several different formations. They like to use tempo, and I think they're probably going to throw the ball about 35, 40 times. So we'll have to do a good job, get our eyes right, and stay over the top of their routes.
Is this a offense that you can get to the quarterback, you can pressure, bringing Kyron and others into blitz packages?
Yeah, I think one of the keys is, putting pressure on the quarterback. That always helps your secondary, and I believe we'll live in the backfield.
What kind of personnel on the wideout positions? They got a lot of guys that they rotate in. They share the ball to about 4 or 5 different receivers.
A lot of the receivers are the same. It's the same group of guys out there. There's not just one kid that they try to get the ball to. They're all just pretty solid receivers.
Haven't had the most successful run game, but you have to feel like the Bruins got to be working on that part of it.
Yeah, I think they try to run the ball, and I think they're getting better. I do think their quarterback is a good runner, so I wouldn't be surprised if they try to run him a little bit more.
Is there one particular key that you feel like if you can lock that door, you can control the ball game, get the defense off the field, and let the offense go to work?
Yeah, on most weeks, I believe it. If we win the line of scrimmage and pressure him all night, they'll have a hard time getting first downs.
Travis Bryant with some pregame thoughts. Muskogee against Bartlesville here tonight. Back with winning strategy with head coach Dale Condit. That after this time out of Rougher Football in 2025.
Have you been injured as the result of a car accident? Has your family been impacted by the death of a loved one caused by someone else's negligence? Whatever you're dealing with, you don't have to face it alone. At 222 Injury Lawyers, our dedicated personal injury attorneys are here to fight for the justice and compensation you deserve. Call 918-528-0222.
Proudly serving the elderly of the Muskogee community, Broadway Care Rehabilitation Center is a skilled nursing facility empowering better living through long-term care as well as many other respite care options. And coming soon to Broadway, the Memory Care Unit. At Broadway Care Rehabilitation, the amazing therapy department can help you or your loved one get back on their feet. Contracted with most major insurances, follow them on Facebook and see many of the enriching activities offered to the residents. Broadway Care Rehabilitation Center, proud to support the Muskogee Roughers. Welcome back to Custer Stadium. I'm often reminded of Custer's last stand. Dale Condit, it's time for the Roughers to create that same type of outcome and leave Custer with another win.
Yeah, we need to come out and get a good start. You know, we've got this momentum going. We don't want to be sloppy early and let them linger around and make this a tight one in the second half. We need to come out and execute the game plan, get on them early and stay on them, and continue to ride the wave that we're on.
From the head coach's perspective, I know you look at both sides and try to get all the pieces put together through your coordinators, but what things does Bartlesville do defensively as well as offensively that kind of has you scratching the head a little bit?
Well, they'll get in some unbalanced formations offensively. They do things in the passing game. They've hit a couple deep shots where, you know, you're looking at it and going, man, that could create a problem. So schematically, they do some really good things. I think it's just putting the whole thing together for them that they haven't quite done yet. And you know, for us, we got to make sure that you know, we line up sound defensively, that we execute, you know, the plan offensively. Just you know, the meat and potatoes of what we do. We got to continue to work at running the football is another big one. I think that we've got to be better in the run game, and hopefully we'll do that against Bartlesville as well.
Is there one particular strategy that you would pull out of your 20-plus years of coaching football that would get the attention of the guys? I know you try to do a lot of hype to get the guys sky high ready for football, but they also realize they're going into an opponent that has not won a football game so far this season, and they're halfway done. How do you get that concentrated effort and come out of here with another victory for the Roughers with the winning strategy of Dale Condit?
Well, first of all, Bill, it's over 30 years experience, just to age me a little bit. But you know, that's right. It's very salty, less pepper. But you know what I've learned over the years is kids know. You know, the players know what they're up against each week. You're not going to fool them with some big speech to convince them that this is the best team we've played all year. Or, you know, I heard one of them in the hall. Have they won a game this year? I said, it doesn't matter how many games they've won. We have to come out and play well, because sometimes it's not just about us or just about the winning. So you need to perform well while you're winning as well. So, you know, I will definitely convey the message of you know, a mature team will stay focused and play well every week and not have any slip-ups, and that's going to be the focus now. I'm probably not going to give my biggest rah-rah speech of the year right now. I'm hoping that there's going to be games, playoff time, that we can do that for. I think it was Barry Switzer one time said that you can really get them all jacked up about three or so times a year where you just get really sky high, because that amount of emotion's hard to sustain over, you know, a 10-week season and then go into playoffs. So you kind of got to be realistic with some of that, and I think a mature team will stay consistent and do their job each week. And like I tell them, man, it's the game of football. It's the best game ever invented. Let's go out and play and have fun and play it at the highest level we can.
And you're playing a team tonight that is celebrating their homecoming. You went through that homecoming environment last Friday night. You took advantage of that opportunity with the roar of the crowd, with the fast start. You know that's what Bartlesville's looking to do tonight, but I think for the Roughers, it's like you've said all week long in our coaches show and earlier in this evening, it's all about the Roughers. It's about taking care of business.
Yeah, that you know, from what I understand, that stuff all going to happen before the game, and you know, we'll stay out of the way of that. I might use it a little bit on the side of, hey, they picked you for homecoming. I can't help but do that, but yeah, really, you know, we'll enjoy the fact that there'll probably be more people there for Bartlesville than normal. You know, be a bigger crowd, because there always is for people's homecoming, and you know, at the end of the night, that part shouldn't matter a whole lot to us.
Dale Condit with this week's winning strategy, brought to you by the law offices of Michael A. Finnerty. Back with Health of the Roughers. We'll talk to Justin Laird, but first, this time out on Rougher Football 2025.
The world of education is driven by numbers. So is the one company more schools and universities call on when fire or water damage strikes. 1-800-SERVPRO. The #1 choice in commercial cleanup and restoration.
When it matters most. The name to remember? ServPro of Muskogee. 918-913-4490. Online at servpro.com.
There's never been a better time to find a great deal on a sedan, truck, or crossover at Nissan of Muskogee. Call 918-683-6605 or go to nissanofmuskogee.com. There's never been a better time to find a great deal on a sedan, truck, or crossover at Nissan of Muskogee. Call 918-683-6605 or go to nissanofmuskogee.com.
Back at Bartlesville, prior to tonight's rougher football against the Bruins of Bartlesville High, we bring in head athletic trainer Justin Laird for this week's Health of the Roughers. Justin, a lot of people don't realize all the responsibilities that you and Leo Kraski share as the training team. I mean, you guys do a whole lot more than just wrap ankles and put people in ice baths.
Oh, absolutely. It goes plumb back to the paperwork from the beginning of the year, doing the physicals, the health history, to maintaining paperwork. If I get hurt or get injured and I have to go to the doctor, we make sure they bring the release and return to play so that we make sure everything is okay as far as them getting back on the field so that they're not injured again.
Now, this also kind of brings up the change of seasons. I mean, we've gone from the extremely brutally hot to some cooler temperatures, although it's been warm the latter part of the week. That creates a lot of concern for the training staff to make sure that everybody is well prepared.
Oh, absolutely. The change in the seasons can make a difference. Biggest thing we're seeing right now are allergies. With the change in weather, the pollen in the air. But no matter what, whether it be the pollen in the air or the type of colds that may come along with that, the one main thing that we make sure we reiterate, they got to stay hydrated no matter what the season is. They got to make sure they're drinking water.
You guys almost have to be a doctor's eyes around the locker room, too, because kids want to come to practice, kids want to come to play, but you have to make sure that they're not being affected by some of these viral infection situations that have gone around. You kind of have to make sure that everything stays tip-top clean, but also that the athletes aren't spreading germs amongst themselves.
Oh, you mean, no, it's just an allergy, I'm okay.
You're right.
I have allergies. You know, you have to maintain a little bit of sense of the different types of allergies through the seasons and maintain an obvious aware of what some people are going through and how they're reacting or not wanting to practice or, you know, the coughing, the sneezing, and everything else so that everybody is healthy and it's not spread the germs from one hand to the other and everything else.
A kid like that, though, that's sidelined because of those type of situations, once they've been to the doctor, though, they have to have that medical release form before they can step back on a practice field, much less on tonight's game turf.
Oh, absolutely. That's probably one of the biggest and hardest things we go through is when we have a kid out, whether it's going to the doctor for seasonal allergies or a broken foot, is reiterating the fact that they have to have a release for return to play. It doesn't matter whether it's tennis, football, basketball, or what it is. They've got to have a release that states, you know, return to play from a broken ankle or return to play from allergies. You know, that way, not only it helps them out liability-wise, it helps us out, and we know what they're returning for or what they had.
Justin Laird, our guest in Health of the Roughers, back with this week's injury report. What guys will be under the watchful eye of the training staff, what guys may or may not be able to play. We'll do that when Health of the Roughers, brought to you by Excel Physical Therapy, continues after this time out of Rougher Football 2025.
Pain is temporary. Pride is forever. At Excel Therapy, we want to be your athlete's advocate for excellence. We offer treatment methods that focus on strengthening muscles and improving flexibility to improve your overall performance. And when injury sets in, Excel Therapy can aid in the recovery process. We know it's important to get back in the game, so trust the comeback experts, Excel Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine. With 16 locations and no physician referral required, you can begin healing today. Look for us online at exceltherapyok.com.
Bill Huddleston with head athletic trainer Justin Laird. midway through the season, you take a look at the injury list, you take a look at the watchful eye list. That's a pretty short number of players that should be able to give the Ruffers a go tonight.
Absolutely. I like when the list is short. We got one athlete off concussion protocol. He's went through the entire steps that you have to go through after having concussion. He's back, fully released this week. We have one other gentleman who had an ankle sprain. He's been released. He'll be taped up and ready to go. Other than that, we're pretty healthy.
What are those things, though, in the case of the kid coming off the concussion, that you have to keep continually focusing on as he gets back out there?
A lot of times, make sure all the headgear that he wears is properly inflated and go through that check, which we've already done. You watch him if he's in a pile-up or something, or when he comes off, make sure he's not dizzy, and, make sure he stays hydrated.
Well, let's hope you don't have to get out of your chair tonight here in Bartlesville.
Oh, absolutely. Let's hope we don't have to do anything but enjoy the game.
Justin Laird with this week's Health of the Ruffers, brought to you by Excel Physical Therapy. Back with more in Bartlesville after this timeout. You're watching and listening to Ruffer Football 2025.
The Bank First tagline, Loyal to Oklahoma and You, isn't just a slogan. It's our pledge to every community we serve.
It's about donating our time, talent, and resources to develop relationships far beyond banking.
It's about investing in our local schools to provide a productive environment for the success of our students.
It's about engaging with local boards, committees, and foundations to improve the lives of our friends and neighbors.
We're loyal to the Muskogee community because it's our community too.
After all, life is about more than just balance sheets and bottom lines.
Bank First, loyal to Oklahoma, loyal to you. Member FDIC.
Week number 6, Muskogee Ruffers for the 4th time this season away from Ruffer Village. But the road trips of late have been good. The last one specifically in the road trip to Ponca City. Tonight, the Muskogee Ruffers enter Custer Stadium, Nick, with, I think, more of a focus, realizing that now every game, regardless of the opponent, you play for keeps.
Well, and I think that's a very good point. You got to remember, you can't read your press clippings. You got to remember that every game could be a trap. And so I think that's one of the messages the coaches have tried to get to the Ruffers this week is that, okay, we've had 2 easy games. These guys are going to be a little tougher. Don't go in there thinking that you've got it cakewalk necessarily. Play, practice hard, and be ready.
Overcast skies as we rolled into Bartlesville. Then the rains came. They have since departed. And we're just about set for the opening kickoff of tonight's contest here in this district encounter. Sapulpa, with its 44-6 win over Putnam City West, is at 3-0 in league play with the maximum 45 points to their credit. Sand Springs and Muskogee right behind, standing at 2-0, looking to add to those point totals tonight. Nick, is it just my eyesight, or does it appear to be a little bit dark down on the field?
Well, especially in the middle of the field, it looks like to me. It's not a lot of light, and maybe right at the goal line. Ruffers will be without Kenyon Goodson tonight, so it'll be Avon Goodland and maybe Ford. Is that Caden Ford over there?
Yeah, DK.
Yeah.
I think that's who the 2 guys will be back deep, or it could be Stott and McHenry also joining that crew. Our referee tonight is Jeremy McCulley. As we mentioned, Ruffers won the toss. They will receive Bartlesville in the blue jerseys with the powder blue numerals, white pants. Ruffers in the white jerseys and green with black pants. We're ready to go in this district encounter tonight here from Custer Stadium. Dylan Burson puts the ball on the tee. Referee's whistle sounds, and we're ready for kickoff on a homecoming night in Bartlesville. Here's the kick. It's a squib kick, and it rolls to a crawling stop as the Ruffers pounce on it quickly. Over there to get it for Muskogee was Journey McJunkins. So Ruffers will get a real good start. Field position, Nick, here to start from the 46-yard line.
Right. Kind of a surprise there. I guess they were a little afraid of what the speedy Ruffers might do with a big kick. So they squib it and give the Ruffers this great field position to start the game. And this will be, again, kind of like last week. Let's get it out, get the points on the board, and get going.
Cason Delgado will be the starting quarterback. He'll have Marquise Chaplin to his left side. 4-man front. Ruffers jump prior to the snap. Ryan Green firing off prior to the cadence. That'll be a -5 flag against the Muskogee Ruffers. And there's been one continuing sore that just doesn't seem to heal, Nick. It's these unnecessary penalties.
Yeah, it's these pre-snap penalties that kind of kill the Ruffers. Move them back behind the chains they got to overcome.
Jamie Beasley split by himself outside the hash, wide to the left. Delgado out of the shotgun, slaps his hands together, calls it off, hands it off inside to Chaplin, breaks a tackle across the 45 and up near the 46-yard line. So he gets the 5 yards lost on the preceding penalty. It'll be second down and 10.
May have even made it to the 47.
They're going to mark it to the 47, yeah. So a 2nd and 9 situation. That's one of the emphases tonight of Mason Fine. He wants this ground game to come of age, and I think we'll see a whole lot of that tonight against Bartlesville. Now trips go outside the numbers wide to the left, bring motion back into the formation, pitch out to Chaplin, cuts back against the grain, 50, into Bruin territory at the 45, breaks tackle, 35, Chaplin at 25, 20, 15, keeps his balance, walks the sideline into the end zone, touchdown, Muskogee. Marquise Chaplin, 53 yards for the touchdown. Touchdown, Muskogee. Touchdown, J. Hodge Chevrolet.
Well, you wanted the running game to come alive, Coach Fine. There you go. As Marquise Chaplin takes care of all 59 yards, basically, of that drive for the Ruffers.
Chap gets his 6th rushing touchdown of the season on the game's 2nd play, and the Ruffers are quickly out in front of Bartlesville tonight here at Custer. Zeppelin Ballalong will wait as the Ruffers stay in that wide formation. Now they'll go with the high snap, going to throw the little fake, fade it to the end zone. The catch is made. Over there, is it good? It is. A 2-point conversion. But there is a flag down on the play.
Procedure against
Procedure going to be called. So that 2-point conversion pass to the end zone complete, but it'll be nullified because of the yellow flag, and that may take the surprise away.
So I would suspect that we will go with the old basic kick now.
Chaplin showed a little burst of energy, Nick, when he got past the line of scrimmage to the 2nd level and then did a good job of walking the sidelines to go the house.
Broke a couple of tackles there right at the line of scrimmage and at the linebacker spot.
Coda Barnowski to hold.
Ballalong will kick it away.
Good snap, pressure up the middle, kick is blocked. Bruins block it. Ruffers have had a couple of kicks blocked. One didn't count last week because of an offside penalty, but this one will be snuffed out, and it'll remain a 6-0 count. Muskogee out in front of Bartlesville, back in 30 seconds on Ruffer Football 2025.
In times of need, it's comforting to see faces of people you know and trust. Cornerstone Funeral Home in Muskogee cherishes the opportunity to be there for you and your family in life's most challenging times when friends are most important. Cornerstone Funeral Home and Crematory welcomes the opportunity to answer any questions regarding planning and pre-arrangements for you and your loved ones. Experience the difference. Cornerstone Funeral Home, 1830 North York in Muskogee, where you'll find faces you know and reputations you trust.
Back at Custer Stadium, Bill Huddleston, Nick Hampton on this Friday night. Ruffers get the 53-yard sprint for 6 from Marquise Chaplin and have taken an early advantage. And if the head coach of the Bruins, Harry Wright, wanted to get a fast start to get the emotion of the homecoming crowd, he got the emotion, but it came from the Ruffer fans that are here tonight, Nick.
Well, the Ruffers pay off with the decision to take the opening kickoff and make the most of it on all the running by Chaplin to get them on the board.
Ruffer Football this season brought to you in part by 222 Injury Lawyers, by Broadway Manor Care and Rehabilitation Services, by Serpro, and by Kyle Edwards GMC. Here's the kick, and it'll be recovered by Bartlesville.
Ruffers with a little squib kick of their own right there, just over the first line and into the second, but the Bruins cover it pretty easy, and they'll have it around the 35 or so.
11:16 to play here in quarter number 1. Bill Huddleston, Nick Hampton, our Ruffer TV crew with you tonight from Bartlesville. Back at home next Thursday night. Remember, it's a short week because of the fall break. The opponent will be Capitol Hill. Kent, the quarterback, comes down the line, and he gets met at the corner and stood up by a host of Ruffers. Michael Kent, Nick, has been the offense for the Bruins. Just doing some statistical counting up, he's accounted for 1,579 yards altogether this season. He loses a yard on the first down carry back to the 34.
Dayton Stevens is the running back with him back there.
Stevens, a 6'1", 175-pound junior. Now flags fly. I don't know if the Ruffers were offside. No, it's going to be an encroachment against Bartlesville, right? Nope, they're going to call it on the Ruffers.
That's 3 penalties in the first 4 minutes of the game.
So the +5 penalty gives Bruins field position at the 39. It'll be 2nd down and 6 yards to go. Bruins come in to tonight's ball game 0-5, losing to Newcastle, Claremore, and Collinsville in non-district play before being blasted by Sand Springs, and last week losing to Sapulpa. Pass across the middle, a little bit too tall, trying to target Bowden Roberts on the crossing route. It'll be an incomplete pass. It'll be now 3rd down. One of the keys for Muskogee's defense tonight was to get 3-and-out situations. Don't let Bartlesville get into a rhythm. Don't let them get into that hurry-up style offense and move the chains.
Well, now they're in pretty much a must-pass situation now with 3rd and long.
Pair of receivers to the boundary left, one wide out to the left side. Kent in the pocket, waits, being flushed, being chased, trying to elude pressure. Now throws it back up around the 40 and dancing around and getting out to about the 41-yard line. The Bartlesville receiver, but that's just good awareness on the part of Kent. He was able to keep his feet in balance and toss it upfield up to about the 42-yard line.
It's going to leave him short of the first down, though.
Leave him short by about 4 yards, so it's only about a 2-yard pickup. And they'll go for it. 0-5, you're going to gamble on every opportunity. Twin receivers out to the far right. Single receiver to the boundary on the numbers to the left side. Now Kent will put Stevens to his left shoulder. Little straight drop back. Wait, dance, now scramble. This is the quarterback, Kent. He's close. He's got the first down to the 46-yard line.
Nice little scramble by Kent on that play. I think that was pretty much a designed run by Kent.
He's got the quickness of feet. He came in to tonight's ball game with 328 yards rushing. That 5-yard pickup brings up a 1st and 10. Now quick snap. Kent will just pick up the loose ball that goes rumbling across. The Ruffers got into the backfield. Caden Harkin was the guy that trips up Kent short of the line of scrimmage. Should be about a 1-yard loss on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 11. Just never had the feeling, Nick, coming in here, even 2 years ago in that state championship run, that the Ruffers could come into Bartlesville and go home with the win. You're going to have to earn it. Kent out of the gun on a 2nd 11, hard count. Twins tucked in tight to the left. One single receiver outside the hash, wide to the right side. As Kent looks over the Ruffer defense. Stands in the pocket, in some trouble, and trying to scramble around. And the walls, as they say, when Jericho came tumbling down that time, I don't know who. There was a host of white jerseys, but there were a lot of them. It's a 10-yard loss.
Couldn't scramble out of that one.
The offensive line just could not contain the up-front pressure of that Ruffer front 3-man group. Jack Green, Hayden Von Holt, Kyron Cope, the 3 men. Trey Jackson, one of the linebackers, he'll shift out in coverage now on this 3rd and extremely long. Bruins have to go all the way to the Ruffer 43. Kent in the pocket. Time to throw up the field. Has a receiver on the slash. Hacks the catch at about the 49-yard line. Gets hit immediately. Going to be short of the line to gain. They're going to call the forward progress to the 50-yard line. So it'll be 4th down and 6 as Roberts makes the catch. Bruins will again run the gamble. 7:30 in the clock running here at quarter number 1. Good snap to Kent. He's going to sprint to his right, look to roll back to the left, and then sees a Ruffer staring him down in the face, Hayden Von Holt. He says, oops, I'm going to take a seat. And he drops to the turf back upfield at what I think will be the 40-yard line. It's actually going to be a 12-yard loss, Nick, there on that 4th down gamble. So the Ruffers will get a gift here, Nick. They'll start 1st and 10 from the Bartlesville 38-yard line. leading 6-0. Thanks to the quickness and the balance of Marquise Chaplin.
So the Ruffers will try to knock in another one here and jump out to a commanding lead.
Empty backfield this time. Trips come out wide to the right side. Delgado by himself now running back.
Whoops.
Sprints in late. That's Chaplin again. Ruffers only had 10 guys out there. The snap will go. Delgado will pull it down. He'll run for his life, and he's going to get eat up.
Haven't seen much of that. The Ruffers have done a pretty good job of protecting him.
Delgado will lose yardage back up near the midfield stripe, back up to the 46, so it'll be a loss of 8 on first down. Yeah, that offensive line's been much better at protecting Delgado, but that time with the absence of Chaplin, you just kind of felt like things weren't in sync, so to speak. 6:48 left on the clock here in quarter number 1. Ruffers now with a 2nd and long, have to go all the way to the 28-yard line in Bruin territory. From the 46. Motion out of the corner. Delgado on the reverse, coming back near side. Ruffers have blockers down the edge. 40, 35. This is DK at the 25. He'll be shoved out of bounds inside the Bruin 20, right about the 18-yard line. Is there laundry? There is.
Yeah, there is. Right around the 30.
Right around the 37-yard line. They're going to throw it back up to the 40. I got a feeling this one's coming back on a hold.
Yep.
There were 2 offensive linemen leading the way, and the officials felt like they got a little bit too much possession of a blue jersey. So the big play for Decaden Ford will be erased, and the Ruffers will face 2nd down and even longer now as they'll start from the midfield stripe.
Wow. 4th penalty against the Ruffers already in the game.
That will not satisfy head coach Dale Condon and his expectations for performance here tonight.
No, it won't. So the Ruffers have to go all the way down to the 28. And they're at midfield right now.
Decaden Ford and Jamie Beasley will be split to the left side. Nunu James is to the right. Delgado takes the snap. Drop straight back, throws across the middle. It's high and it's tipped and almost intercepted. Delgado threw that one into a crowd. And very fortunate that it wasn't picked off.
So now 3rd and a mile to go for the Ruffers at midfield.
And you get gifted a possession that started at the opponent's 38-yard line. You don't expect to go backwards, Nick.
No. So the Ruffers now, and even that last play, I don't think was going to gain much ground, even if it had been completed. The receiver was pretty well surrounded.
James, the single receiver, on the numbers to the right side. 3 wides go to the left. Delgado puts Chaplin in motion out of the backfield. Rolls to his left, waits, throws upfield. It's caught by Beasley at the 43. He'll be spun down and around the 40-yard line. So that'll get 10 of the needed yardage, or maybe just 9. I guess they're going to put it at the 40. Well, now maybe back at the 42. So only 8 on the play. And the Ruffers will have a 4th and about 14. Ball along will be on the punt. Z, a 6'2", 215-pound senior, coming in averaging tonight 35.5 yards per kick. Good snap, good protection, kicks up, a driving kick. Bruins will take a fair catch at the 13-yard line, and that's where Bartlesville will get it back for the 2nd time tonight. Muskogee leading it 6-0. A little rain here kind of makes you think about the condition of your roof, doesn't it, Nick?
Yeah, it does.
Do you have storm damage? Are you unsure of the condition of your roof? Well, folks at Roughneck Roofing are insurance claim professionals and are here to help you get what you deserve. Stephen Lane and Roughneck Roofing provides personal attention with professional results. For all the details, call Roughneck Roofing 918-401-9125.
So the Bartlesville Bruins now will try and get out from inside their own 20 on this series. They went backwards last time as well.
Starting from the 13-yard line. 5:39 left here in quarter number 1.
Everybody moved except the ball that time.
It's been one of the reoccurring problems for Bartlesville, too, in talking with head coach Harry Wright. What he referred to as senseless penalties. That 5-yard walk-off will back it up inside the 10 to the 8-yard line. Kent, the quarterback, 5'10", 185-pound sophomore. Started the final 4 games of the season a year ago. Empty backfield. Going to run to his left. Now he's going to throw out in space, and the receiver couldn't hold on to the ball. Over there in coverage for Muskogee was Styler McHenry. McHenry playing along with Junior Macknack at the safety positions with the absence of Kenyon Goodson tonight. So the incomplete pass brings up 2nd and 15. Bruins will be on the road next week at Putnam City North. Dayton Stevens, the running back, takes the handoff, trying to attack the left side of the offensive front. Might have got back to the line of scrimmage, perhaps a 1-yard pickup before a host of white jerseys make the contact. Call it 3rd down, and I guess right about the 8-yard still, so we'll leave it 3rd down, 15.
They're going to have a hard time running against these roughers. Muskogee's just got too much speed for them. So any success they have is probably going to have to be through the air. Kind of taking their time in the huddle now. They break with 10 on the play clock.
As Michael Kent sets the offense, he'll put the running back to his left shoulder. Kind of a triangle of receivers to that same right side. Play clock at 1 as Kent takes the snap. Straight stop back, throws a little wheel route out in space. Caught up across the 20 and about to the 22-yard line. But it'll bring up a 4th down situation. What was 3rd and 15 now will be 4th and a yard to go. And Harry Wright's already got the offense to the line of scrimmage. Got to roll the dice, just trying to get some kind of energy for his Bruins tonight here at Custer Stadium. 4:18 on the clock, moving in the opening 12 minutes of play. Kent checking the sideline, trying to make sure he's got the right personnel groupings. And now Bartlesville's going to spend a timeout. We'll do the same. 6-0 Ruffers over Bartlesville on the 53-yard Marquise Chaplin run for the touchdown. Back in 30 seconds on Ruffer Football 2025.
This land was a tapestry of Indian nations and tiny towns that grew into great cities. Bank First is loyal to the shared mission of growth and success that built Oklahoma. That's why in more than 50 communities statewide, our banks are run by local leaders who stick together and work hard to continue unlocking Oklahoma's great promise. Bank First, loyal to Oklahoma, loyal to you.
4th and a yard to go for the Bartlesville Bruins here on their homecoming.
Well, if the Ruffers could stop them here, wouldn't that be great field position? Have the ball just across the 20 if they can hold them.
You could tell Michael Kent wasn't totally in tune with what the offensive coordinator was calling in that short yardage situation. Kent will work out of the gun. Takes the snap, runs to his left, cuts up across the crease, has the first down yardage and change. He's the man that makes this offense go. Kent will race from the 22-yard line all the way out to the 30. It's an 8-yard pickup and a 1st and 10 for Bartlesville.
Arius Parrish on the tackle there for the Ruffers, but not before Kent gets that vital first down.
That's overcoming a 1st and 15, Nick. So now with Stevens, the running back, lined up behind Kent, who works out of the pistol. Takes the snap down the line on the option. Fakes the toss, keeps it, trying to run around. Now throws a little wheel route, and nice delivery and good extension of the play by Michael Kent. And coming out of the backfield that time was Dayton Stevens. He'll make the catch and race upfield to see where will they place the football. Right about the 42-yard line. Yep, 12-yard pickup, 1st and 10 Bruins. Another RPO situation. Kent trying to get on the corner. Has some running room and a nice diving effort that time by the Ruffer defender, getting in at the ankles of the Bruin quarterback. Stopping Kent after a pickup of about 2 yards. Good play that time by Avon Goodland and Decaden Ford. 2nd down and 8. This drive started at the Bruin 13 and actually backed up all the way to the 8. So Bartlesville just trying to maintain possession and move the sticks, keep the Ruffer offense off the field. Twins to the boundary left, single receiver out to the far right. Kent tapping his head, takes the snap at his knees, play action, sets up in the pocket, dances around, going to throw the home run ball. Behind everybody, this one's going to be INT. Ruffers with the INT, playing it like a center fielder. And a big play that time for the Muskogee Ruffers. That's Avon Goodland.
Yeah.
The 5'10", 160-pounder just kept dropping back like, well, show my age. Willie Mays dropping out the say-hey kid to the center field, making the over-the-shoulder basket catch, right?
Right.
INT for Avon Goodland. And the Ruffers will start this time from their own 22-yard line. 2:37 left here in quarter number one. Ruffers in the white jerseys, the black pants. Bartlesville in that dark blue with the powder blue numbers. Cason Delgado will bring the offense. The 6'2", 190-pound junior will now flip Barnoski over to the left side. Snap, handed off to Chaplin. Running in a hole. Had what looked like going to be a huge gain. He'll pick up positive yardage from the 22 to the 28. A 6-yard gain on first down. It'll be 2nd and 4 for the men in green.
Bartlesville sent the linebacker in that time on a blitz, and Chaplin ran just right by him. Got a good hole there where that was.
Beasley will be on the outside edge. He'll draw double coverage. Twins go out wide to the right. Delgado again inside of Chaplin up the middle. 30 has the first down, sticks and change. He'll pop his way upfield from the 28 to the 34. A 6-yard gallop and a Kyle Edwards GMC Ruffer. First down and 10. 2:02 left here in quarter number one. Still 6-0 Muskogee from Custer Stadium in Bartlesville.
4 carries for 71 yards now for Chaplin, including that 53-yard touchdown dash.
Chap was our offensive player of the week last week, Nick, in the win over Putnam City West. A trio of receivers will stand over on the hash mark. One on the marks, one inside, one outside. Empty backfield for Delgado. Now he'll back up from center, put the running back over to his right side, and flags fly, and then we're going to get a delay of game call. And that hurts.
Another one of those pre-snap penalties that just puts you back behind the chains a little bit.
You don't know if that's communications coming from the sideline to the quarterback, getting everybody in place, or if it's just not reading the play clock.
5th penalty for Muskogee already in the game.
This time Beasley will be by himself out on the numbers wide to the left. Delgado with Barnoski in the slot to the right side. They'll play action, give it inside, pass it out on the edge. Caught by Beasley at the 35, but he pays the price for it immediately, hit by the Bartlesville defensive back. 6-yard pickup on the completion. 2nd down. Now they're only going to give him 5, Nick, so it'll be 2nd and 10 yards to go.
2 for 3 for Delgado passing now tonight. Beasley with both the receptions.
Clock counting down to the 1-minute mark here in the opening quarter of play in this district encounter. Ruffers trying to keep pace with Sapulpa and Sand Springs as the only unbeaten teams in the league. Running back to the right of Delgado. Chaplin takes the handoff, dances. No, Delgado's going to cape it. And then late pitch it upfield to Beasley.
Wow, that was really a disorganized play. I'm not sure what happened there. Beasley ended up having to come back to the line of scrimmage basically to make the catch.
Well,
So no gain on the play.
Right, it'll be 2nd down, make it 3rd down and now 10. Ruffers with 2 receivers out on the wide side right. And flags again fly, and I think the Ruffers here may get called again for illegal procedure.
Wow.
Somebody on the offensive front, Nick's putting a hand down, then picking it back up. So it backs it up 5 and turns it into a 3rd and now 15. A long 15. Yeah. It's halfway between the 28 and the 29-yard line. Have to go all the way to the 44. Play clock chalked ready for play. Ruffers will put a trio of receivers out on the boundary wide to the right. Delgado takes the snap. Cason's going to roll to his edge. He's in some trouble trying to elude tacklers and breaks one. Now trying to find friendly foe for blocking advantage. And he'll sprint upfield to about the 40-yard line. So we'll call it from the 29 to the 42-yard line. A 13-yard run for Cason Delgado, but it wasn't enough to move the chains. Now, Nick, you want to find out if Dale Connett's going to try to use a little muscle here and go for
it.
Yes. With only 13 seconds remaining in the opening 12 minutes of action.
And they will go for it. Delgado and Chaplin in the backfield.
4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2. Kaysen waits, and lets the clock expire. And after one quarter play, Ruffers hold to a 6-0 advantage. The game's second play, the only points on the board. The touchdown run by Marquise Chaplin. 6-0 Ruffers after one tonight here in Bartlesville. Back in 30 seconds on Ruffer Football in 2025.
At J. Hodge Chevrolet in Muskogee. Shop Silverados, Trailblazers, Colorados, and more. More new Chevys and top dollar for trade-in. 144 West Shawnee.
Ugh, my brother and sister left me again. They went back to school. Can you believe that? But don't worry, they still call me every morning, thanks to their brand new phones from Bravado Wireless. My sister even dropped hers in the pool, but Bravado's trade-in help has her covered. And my brother, he's flexing with the new iPhone 16 Pro Max. Like, how cool is that? Mom and Dad got deals too. Bravado's unlimited plan saved the whole family money.
When the Muskogee Ruffers play in front of the hometown fans at Ruffer Village, it's the same as when you talk with Lynn Wallace and her team at Cornerstone Home Lending in Muskogee, because both understand that home is where happy lives. With honest, well-communicated, and knowledge-based experience, Cornerstone Home Lending will find you the right loan that will get you home happy. No matter if you're buying or refinancing, you can go home happy with the help of Lynn Wallace and the professionals at Cornerstone Home Lending in Muskogee. Call 918-600-0602.
So the Ruffers now on a 4th down, about 2 yards to go. No doubt here in the mind of Dale Condit, we're going to go for it. Keep this drive alive. I'm sure at this point in time, Condon's a little bit perturbed about the way things have gone offensively. Too many penalties.
The competitive level of Mason Fine, the offensive coordinator, certainly I'm sure a bit heated at this point, you could say. Have to reach the 44-yard line to move the chains. Styling McHenry in at the Wildcat. He'll take it, bounce on the edge, 45 side across midfield into Bruin territory all the way to the 45-yard line. Goes from the 42 on one end to the 45 on the opposite, 13 yards on the 4th down scramble, and a Kyle Edwards GMC Ruffer, 1st down and 10. Kind of had an idea when McHenry came in, Nick, in that Wildcat, he's going to be the guy to get the call.
Yeah.
But you got to realize, too, that in the play calling of Mason Fine in the offensive series, you set that up with those type of calls, and then sooner or later he's going to take a snap, dump one upfield, and be an open wide receiver. Beasley by himself out to the left. McHenry, the quarterback. Steiner will take the snap at the waist. He'll pull it on a slant across the middle to Beasley at the 35. Jamie to the 32-yard line before contact is made.
Nice control by Beasley as he took a big hit but hung on to the ball.
13-yard pass combination. McHenry to Beasley and another Kyle Edwards Buick GMC Ruffer, 1st down and 10. Saw some of the new style GMC trucks out of Kyle Edwards the other day, Nick. That's a smooth ride. 1st and 10 for Muskogee. Having started this drive at the Bruin 22. McHenry again going to take the snap. He's got blockers in front. He'll run hard to the right side. Push the pile inside the 30 to the 29. Be about a 3-yard pickup.
So the Ruffer coaching staff now want to see if McHenry can kind of light the fire back under the Ruffer offense, which after that first run by Chaplin for the touchdown has kind of stalled out. But now McHenry's breathed a little life into it.
Styling McHenry, 6'4", 185-pound senior. He'll hand it off in traffic to Marquise Chaplin, who with strength gets to the line of scrimmage and not much more, as there were a host of blue jerseys ready and waiting. So no gain on the play. Ruffers will be forced to a 3rd down.
Wholesale substitutions now for the Ruffers on 3rd and probably a passing situation.
0 for 2 so far tonight on 3rd down conversions. Nunu James will be split to the right side of the field. Beasley will be the wide out to the left with receiver inside. Delgado takes the snap, pressure up the middle, throws it across, open catch at the 15. Ruffers had the first down yardage and some change. Delgado with a late release, and he throws a fastball right into the waiting hands of Avon Goodland. And it's good enough to move the chains all the way to the Bartlesville 12-yard line. 17-yard pass play, and a Kyle Edwards GMC Ruffer first down and 10. Now quickly, Ruffers get to the line of scrimmage with trips outside the hash mark to the right. Delgado will take the snap. He'll hold it up the middle, give it off to Chaplin, runs over one, runs over two, into the end zone. Touchdown, Muskogee.
Wow, nice run by Chaplin.
Just a big, huge hole up front created by that offensive group. Hunter Lanier, the senior center. Courtney Nash, Devin Nero, the guards. JoJo Alexander and Hayden Von Holt doing the work up front. 12-yard gallop for Chaplin, his second rushing touchdown of the night. And the Ruffers have expanded their advantage on the scoreboard.
78-yard drive for the Ruffers. Nicely done.
It's the first third down conversion of the night too, Nick. And Ballalong, who had his last PAT blocked, will try this one here. Good snap, but there's motion this time. Ballalong, I think, was anticipating the snap. He moved forward. He saw the call of the holder and was ready to step into it, but the ball didn't come, so that'll back it up 5 on the PAT try.
Penalty number 7 here in this first half against Muskogee.
Zevelin Ballalong, 6'2", 215-pound senior. Snap back this one and looks up and looks good, and it splits the uprights. So with the PAT from a little bit further away, it's still true, and the Ruffers lead it 13-0 tonight here in Bartlesville. We're back after this 30-second break on Ruffer Football in 2025.
Pioneer Abstract, proudly serving residential and commercial customers throughout Muskogee County since 1905. Serving banks, mortgage companies, and mortgage brokers with refinancing, purchase, 1031 tax-deferred exchanges, along with full escrow services and more. Pioneer Abstract offers the convenience of centralized services for escrow accounts, title insurance, and title searches. Pioneer Abstract, here yesterday, here today, and here tomorrow at 412 West Broadway in downtown Muskogee, or call Pioneer Abstract at 683-2904.
Welcome back to Bartlesville. Muskogee Ruffers, after a nice 78-yard drive with Marquise Chaplin going in from 12 to make it a 13-0 advantage. Now it's time for the Ruffer defense to come and flex its muscle, Nick Hampton.
Yeah, 5 carries for 71 yards for Chaplin. Check them at 84 yards.
One of his best performances. Now Ballalong will stutter step, drive it deep. Bruins will field it up from the goal line at the 3, trying to find a wall of blockers. Headhunters are down quickly for Muskogee, stopping this one inside the 15-yard line. Tackle will be made at the 13. So the Bruins, who have not had much field position tonight, started one drive from their 35, the next from their own 13. Will start their third offensive series here in quarter number 2 from the 13-yard line and find themselves down by that baker's dozen advantage on the scoreboard.
And this is the problem Bartlesville has had, is because they don't have much of a running game and they have trailed in most of their contests. They end up being a pretty one-dimensional team.
Ruffers will come to the line of scrimmage with a 3-man front in this wide-open attack. Twins out either side. And
the Ruffers looked toward blitz and got too
Yeah, they
close.
did. They got a little bit too anxious to get upfield.
Ruffers were sending 2 linebackers on that, and they both jumped into the neutral zone.
So the 5-yard walk-off will move it upfield to the 18. So Bruins give you a lot of different formations, Nick. They force you to have to adjust different ways on every snap of the football. Again, the stacked receivers out on the numbers to the short side left, Twins out wide right, as Kent works out of the shotgun.
Tried to get him to jump that time with a hard count, but they didn't.
Ruffers will try to match up in this cover 2 situation. Now they'll shift in, Handoff will go to the running back, and there is just
he's gobbled
there's
up.
not an open window. Let me just put it that way. He's going to be stopped for a yard loss back upfield from the 18 to the 17. Arias Parrish and teammates crashing in on the play to stop that one for minus yardage. From the 17, it'll now be a second down and 6.
Bartlesville trying to take advantage of that opening penalty against the Roughers with a short field here.
Single coverage out on the boundary, wide right, as Kent will stand up and look over to the sideline to the coaching staff of the Bruins, trying to signal in this play call.
Play clock down to 1, and the Bruins have to call a timeout.
They'll spend the timeout. We'll do the same. Back to Bartlesville after this 30-second timeout. Ruffers on top, 13-0. Rougher football 2025 continues after this.
Brunt's Barbecue serves up hand-rubbed, slow-cooked goodness. Anytime you're feeding a few hundred, hey, we're just tailgating with friends. Call the experts. Brunt's Barbecue. Ribs, brisket, burnt ends, mouth-watering hot link, and smoked chicken. Where everything is made from scratch, from the barbecue sauce to the banana pudding. Give us a try, and you won't be disappointed. Brunt's Barbecue. 918-681-3900. Brunt's Barbecue. Slow-cooked goodness in Muskogee.
Bill Huddleston, Nick Hampton with you tonight from Bartlesville. Nick, I'm sure you're attuned to the fact that tomorrow there'll be a game played down in Dallas. Am I correct?
Oh, yeah. I've seen a little bit about that this week.
Best way to watch that game will be a big plate of barbecue from My Place Barbecue West. Pick it up through the drive-thru or go out and eat and watch it on the big screens there. Make your place My Place Barbecue West. Now, on the pass up the middle, slant route was intended, but it was knocked down by Coda Barnowski.
It should have been intercepted right in Coda's hands.
Dayton Stevens was the targeted receiver, but Barnowski with the big mitts knocking it down. Yeah, I was going to tell you, if you want to get loaded up before the game, run out to the west side and go through the drive-thru and let the crew at My Place Barbecue West send you home either with the chopped plate, ribs. I mean, it's all you can eat ribs inside on the weekend at My Place Barbecue West.
3rd and 6 for the Bruins. Empty backfield for Kent.
Kent will take the snap at his knees. He'll roll to his right, going to look to throw upfield. Ruffers are downfield, making pretty good coverage. And Bartlesville sideline trying to plead for some interference, but it was just good coverage over here on this edge by Anthony Macknack Jr.
Dylan Burson will come in to punt for the Bruins on 4th down.
Person wearing that bright pink shirt underneath his jersey. And the Ruffers will put Caden Ford back in punt return formation. Should get good field position out of this one.
Ruffers have a player come in kind of late there, the Bruins.
8:12 to play here in quarter number 2. Snap is back. Person steps into it, launches the driving kick. It'll bounce, picked up by Ford, dancing left, right, trying to get to the corner. 40, 35, 30, with speed, up the field. Explodes down the boundary right in front of the Ruffers sideline. And Caden Ford, with a blink of an eye, takes it from the 50 all the way to the, what'll be the 23-yard line in Bartlesville territory again, Nick.
Nice return by DK as he had that ball and kind of a little bit slow getting it, but once he got the ball controlled, boy, he turned on the Jets down the sideline.
Ruffers started their first drive from their own 46, the next from inside Bartlesville territory, and then the last drive went 78 yards on the second touchdown of the night. Now short field situation, virtually in the scoring zone. Delgado takes the snap, hands it up, throws it to the corner. Incomplete.
Way too long there trying to hit the wheel route down the sideline.
That was Nunu James over there on that far side. Incomplete. Second down and 10. Clock's to stop with 7:57 to play before intermission.
Only the second incompletion, though, for Delgado tonight in 6 tries.
James will be the single receiver to the right side. Beasley and a teammate to the left. Delgado will hand it off. Chaplin has a huge hole. 20-15. And going to be tripped up. And Full will stop short about 2 yards shy of the first down marker. but a nice 8-yard run for Marquise Chaplin.
He's approaching the 100-yard mark now on the night.
Ruffers will adjust personnel, bring fresh bodies in. Delgado will stand and looking over at Mason Fine to get the signal. 3rd and 2 here. What do you do, Nick?
Run the ball.
That's old school.
Yeah.
Delgado will wait, get his offense set. He'll hand it off to Chaplin, who's met at the line of scrimmage, but like a pinball, bounces off to find open running. He'll go inside the 10 all the way to the 5. Another 10-yard gallop for Marquise Chaplin. Another Kyle Everett GMC Ruffer. First down and goal to go.
8 carries for 101 yards now for Chaplin. Nice move there as he hit the line of scrimmage. Looked like he might get stopped, but he just kind of bounced off of it, like you said, pinballed off and found a hole to the left and scampered downfield.
Beasley and Goodland go out wide to the right side. Snap Delgado again to Chaplin, and the Bruins guessed right that time, and they came calling, Grizzly Bears and all, stopping Chaplin for a large yard loss back to the 6.
First negative run of the night for Chaplin.
Heavier package comes out. More of the speed group aboard this time here on the 2nd and goal to go. Clock showing 6:23 and counting. Quarter number 2. Muskogee Ruffers on top by the count of 13-0. Trying to add a third score here in the first half. Delgado will put 2 receivers on the number short side left. Bring motion in front. That's Ford. Delgado gives it off up the middle, and running with a head of steam is Marquise Chaplin. And he'll fire downfield and get all the way to about the 3-yard line, all right?
Yep.
So only gets 3. It'll be 3rd down and goal to go here. What I've got to think is 4-down territory. No reason to.
No, I got to think, yeah. I'd look for.
Here comes the Wildcat.
Here comes the Wildcat. So everyone thinks that McHenry's going to run here. Let's see if they will be the decoy, and Chaplin will end up with it. We'll see.
Beasley will be the single receiver out to the left. Barnoski now will flank out from as a tight end to the right side. We're checking that's not Barnoski. It's too tall for Dakota. Direct snap to Stylen. Finds a little bit of crease. Leaps his way into the end zone. Touchdown.
Stylen
McHenry on the Wildcat carry finishes this short field position drive. Ruffers use 6 plays to find 6 points on the 3-yard quarterback keeper by Stylen McHenry.
His first rushing touchdown of the year to go along with 5 or 4 passing touchdowns.
Clock showing 5:16 to go before halftime, and Bottlelong will be on again to try the point after touchdown. Rolling snap, but it's caught on a bounce by Barnoski. Stood up just in time for Z to hammer it home, and there's timeout on the field with the Ruffers adding 7 to this ledger. It's 20-0 Muskogee Ruffers out in front. Tonight and every Friday night, the Ruffers' game plan for success is always 2020. But what about your vision? Well, with the low lights here tonight, Nick, I'm kind of thinking it may be time to check in with the optometrist. If that's your case, low light vision, you need to talk to Dr. Kimberly DeRosset. With 25 years experience in Muskogee County helping patients young and old alike, Dr. Kimberly DeRosset can protect your eyes with the right vision game plan. Kimberly DeRosset, now located at 3505 Chandler Road in Muskogee. Give them a call and set up your next appointment, 918-880-3937.
So the Ruffers, with a 23-yard drive and 6 plays, take advantage of the short field and now have a 20-0 lead with 5 minutes or so here left to play in the first half.
Don't forget, coming up at halftime, we'll introduce you to another TTCU Teacher of the Game, one of our halftime features each and every contest, and whether we're at home or away. Bottlelong will dribble this kick up the field. It's bounding around, and looks like the Ruffers
got it, I think.
They caught the Bruins napping and came up with a football. Muskogee recovers. I couldn't tell the number of the Muskogee jersey, Nick, that recovered.
I think it might have been Cruz Delgado. I'm not sure.
But the Muskogee Ruffers will get it right back at the 44-yard line. Bartlesville's got a timeout. They have an injured player on the field. Ruffers trying to find some added insurance, Nick, some extra points before the halftime break. And whenever you're thinking about insurance, whether it's looking for better coverage for your home or your automobile, or perhaps a little better rates, you need to make the phone call to my buddy David Cobb. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there with coverage you can depend upon. State Farm Insurance Agent David Cobb, a friend of Muskogee Rougher football. Give them a call and let them come and check out your home, check out your automobile and your needs, and maybe you've got a new driver in the house. Well, it's been a long time since I've had one of those, but maybe you were in that situation. You're trying to find the right coverage for your youthful driver? David Cobb's got all the answers. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there, 918-682-2511.
So the Bruins still attending to their injured player, so let's take a timeout while they work on him, and we'll come back with more from Custer Field. 20-0, Ruffers lead it with 5:14 to play here in the first half. You're watching Rougher TV.
In sports, having the right winning strategy is often the difference between winning and losing. The same is true when you need legal representation. For more than 15 years, the law offices of Michael A. Finnerty have successfully provided the winning strategy with excellence and integrity for the people of the Muskogee area in matters of personal injury, social security disability, and workers' compensation issues. The law office Muskogee trusts Michael A. Finnerty, ready to develop a winning strategy. Michael A. Finnerty, 436 Court Street in Muskogee. Call 687-1155. Online at finnertylaw.com.
Bill Huddleston, Nick Hampton back with you at Bartlesville. Bruins training staff still attending to the injured player. You know, Nick, this week temperatures got a little bit more palatable, I guess I would say, for an old man like myself. Spent a little bit of time outside helping the missus with the flower beds, but I also noticed the leaves were beginning to fall from the trees, which around my place creates quite a mess.
Yes, you have a lot of
I
leaves.
have a lot of leaves that fall. If I had a penny for every leaf that fell, you and I both could retire, and we could even take Shane Sanderson along on a free trip as well. But whenever you're thinking about trying to get your home looking its best, that's when you need to check out Antonio Zapata Lawn and Tree Service. We did find a very tall dead tree on our property that's got to be removed, and Z's going to come out and take a look at that in the coming days. If that's one of your problems around your property, you need to call Antonio Zapata and his team. They'll get it done for you at the right price and leave your place looking its very best. Get rid of the leaves. Get ready for the holidays with holiday lighting. Antonio Zapata and his team have the capability of keeping your place looking its very best. Antonio Zapata Lawn and Tree Service. Check him out on Facebook for more details. Antonio Zapata himself, Nick, a former Muskogee Rougher.
One of the Bruin coaches comes out on the field there while they're attending the player, and I don't know if he was trying to do something, but the officials shoot him back to the sideline.
Injured player for Bartlesville, something that has really been a problem. That appears to be Kobe Jenkins, a junior offensive lineman, being helped to the sideline. Harry Wright, in our conversation earlier this week, Nick, talked about not only do we have a very young squad just by numbers, but we have been hit hard by injuries, most notably the absence of Sutton Williams, the 6'1", 175-pound junior who was ticketed for a starting spot in the backfield as well as at linebacker. So another injury for the men in blue, and the Muskogee Roughers on the onside kick recover will get it back at the Bartlesville 44-yard line, trying to add to a 20-0 advantage.
So another short field opportunity for the Roughers here. Inside plus territory. Let's see if they can do something with it here and add to the score some more.
Second straight possession, Roughers starting on the positive side of the 50-yard line. Now trips are out to the boundary right. Beasley by himself to the outside left edge. Delgado in the pocket, protection, now scrambles from behind, throws at the last minute, and
hit as he threw, and
that
ball
just took
sails
that
out
pass
of bounds. Yep.
way off target. Just waiting for a receiver to come open. Credit the Bruins secondary with that blanket of coverage to the boundary left. Of course, on the opposite side, Nick, every time Jamie Beasley splits out to the boundary, he draws at least two men in coverage.
Well, now they've moved the ball back to the 48, so I'm not sure if they're saying it was a fumble instead of a incomplete pass.
So the ball out of bounds back at the 48. All right. So a loss of 5. It'll be 2nd and 15. Delgado will wait for the snap. Pitch it out on a little sweep, trying to get to the corner. Chaplin and Bruins that time saw it coming.
They were lucky. Chaplin got that on one hop like a basketball. Fortunately, for the Ruffers, able to obtain possession, but they lose big yardage back across midfield.
They do indeed, losing 2 more yards on the play, but as you mentioned, fortunate to maintain possession. So it'll be now 3rd down and 17. Have to go all the way to the 39-yard line, 34-yard line in Bruin territory. Clock showing 4:30 and counting here in quarter number 2. Ruffers with a 3-touchdown advantage. Caden Ford and Nunu James, the pair of receivers out on the far right side. Hand the ball off in traffic. Chaplin stops, changes direction inside the 45 and down to about the 43-yard line on the carry.
It's back to just about the original line of scrimmage plus a yard.
Got 8 on that carry. It'll be 4th down. Not any question here what the Ruffers will do. They'll go for it.
108 yards on the ground tonight for Chaplin on 12 carries.
Rupper coaches felt like they could run the football, but they'd like to see a little bit more consistency for the offense. Ford and Nunu James out on the far left. Delgado going to scramble the way, avoids one tackler, throws it upfield, and it's caught at the 30, the 25, 20, and down to about the 15-yard line. Good play that time and a bullet of a throw. Nunu James with the big catch.
Down to the 15.
Kyle Leverage.
28 yards.
Kyle Leverage, GMC Ruffer, 1st down and 10 on the 4th down conversion. Now the Ruffers have still 3:38 to play before the halftime gun. 3 wide receivers will flank out to the left side. Delgado going to throw back to the corner of the end zone. This one is deflected away and incomplete.
Receiver thought it was going to be an inside shoulder pass, and it went outside instead.
It's intended for Nunu in the far corner of the end zone.
Clock stops with 3:33 on it, left in the half.
Trip 3's on the scoreboard. Time to roll to 7. James will be the single receiver. He's outside the numbers to the right side. Beasley and Ford come to the left. Delgado will take the snap. He'll hand it off in traffic to Chaplin, who breaks through the first wall of defenders and
nice
grinds downfield for some very hard yardage, getting all the way to the 9-yard line. He gets 6. It'll be 3rd down and 4 yards to go.
He didn't look like he was going to get anything on that. He's hit right at the line of scrimmage, but just great 2nd and 3rd effort by Chaplin to keep going and gets positive yardage out of it, makes it 3rd and manageable.
Chaplin this time will stand up along the left shoulder of Kaysen Delgado. 3 wide receivers out on the hash mark to the wide side left. Kaysen claps his hands it off to Chaplin, dancing right and spinning downfield near the 7-yard line where it'll be. So he gets 2 more. It'll be 4th down and 2. 2:37 of the clock running here in the 2nd quarter. Ruffers have had, without a question, a huge advantage in field position. Now here's where you would expect to see Styler McHenry come in, and he does. Actually, they're going to put Barnoski in the Wildcat. And now whistle sound because Bartlesville saw something they didn't like from the sideline, and they said, whoa, let's take a break. We'll do the same. 2:12 to go before halftime. Ruffers trying to add to a 20-0 advantage. We're back in 30 seconds on Ruffer Football 2025.
Pain is temporary, pride is forever. At Excel Therapy, we want to be your athlete's advocate for excellence. We offer treatment methods that focus on strengthening muscles and improving flexibility to improve your overall performance. And when injury sets in, Excel Therapy can aid in the recovery process. We know it's important to get back in the game, so trust the comeback experts, Excel Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine. With 16 locations and no physician referral required, you can begin healing today. Look for us online at exceltherapyok.com.
there will come a time for everybody. It's happened for me. It's happening for my wife over the past months where you've got need for medical supplies. And when you're needing crutches, wheelchair, maybe you're needing help with your CPAP machine to keep it operating at its very best, that's when you need the medical professionals at Alpine Medical Supply. Let the team there help you with all the medical services you need. Let them help you with your insurance paper to go along with it. Alpine Medical Supply, located on North Main in Muskogee.
4th and about a long one for the Roughers at the 6.5.
Be the big heavy package, but Bronowski will take the snap, and he'll just run off the right side. He's got a crease. Actually, that's Chaplin. And did he get to the end zone? No, he did not. Just a straight Wildcat play.
Chaplin running it. Gets first down. And so
actually, Nick, I'm going to go back and correct it. It was Coda with the carry. Yeah. But he gets it all the way to the 1 yard line. So now it'll be short yardage again. Stalin McHenry now will be in at the Wildcat spot. The Ruppers will sneak in and go up under center and push it right into the end zone for the touchdown.
Went to the short man there.
It did indeed.
Is that Chaplin?
I'm trying to wait and let the bodies and pile. The Ruppers do get the 6 points. It was just impossible to tell, and the poor lighting here at Custer Stadium leaves everybody guessing except for the officials right on top of the play. So the 1 yard touchdown run stands, and the Ruppers have put 6 more on the board with 1:36 to go. That rainfall kind of blistered up the windows right in front of us as well. Snap down on the extra point. Kick is on the way, and it's right through the heart. It's good, and there's timeout with 1:36 to go before intermission. And Muskogee has put 27 on the first half scoreboard, and they've held the Bartlesville Bruins to a 0. We're back in Custer Stadium after this 30-second timeout. You're listening to Rougher Football 2025.
Folks, Kyle Edwards, GMC in Muskogee. I was born and raised in Muskogee. Our family has owned the GMC dealership for over 50 years. We take great pride in being in the Muskogee community. Things have changed over the years, but one thing remains the same, our desire to take care of our customers. Looking for a new GMC truck or SUV? We've got them, and you have our commitment to give you the best buying experience around. From sales, parts, or service, we are here for you. You have my promise to give you the best selection, best price, and the most for your trade-in at 1600 North Main in Muskogee or KyleEdwardsGMC.com.
Bill Huddleston, Nick Campton with you tonight from Bartlesville. 27-0. The Ruffers have scored 3 times here in the quarter after leading 6-0 through the first 12 minutes. The last one on the 1 yard touchdown run.
9-play drive on the short field.
Ball along with the launch kick. Bruins will settle under at the 15, try to come to the wide side, and there's just no way to avoid the speed of the downfield specialty teams unit. That's going to leave Bartlesville with, again, a very short distance away from their own goal line. They'll start at the 13-yard line, 35-yard line for their first possession, 13 on the second, 13 on the third, and then this one will start from the 13 again.
So we'll see how daring Henry Wright wants to be here for the Bruins, if he's going to play it conservative and get into the locker room and try to regroup, or whether he'll try to make something happen.
Give a big shout out to Oklahoma Fast Pitch Softball. Had to go extras. 16 innings today to advance into the state championship with a 1-0 win. Here's a direct snap to Ken. He rolls to his right, looks to throw in space, and just throws it into the sideline, incomplete. Madison Cap, Nick, she went all 16 innings for the ladies in blue to advance to the state championship game tomorrow. They're at Devon Park. They'll take on the Lady Lions of Howe, who earlier this week knocked off the #1 team and 2-time defending state champion Dale Pirates in the first round.
Kia Holmes has had her team in that situation and deep in the playoffs several times and would like to win it all this time around.
Michael Kent with an empty backfield has a trio of receivers to the right side. Play clock now down to 7 as they roll it to the side. Kent again looking for some escape route, and he just can't find any. And he got punished over on the boundary as the Ruffers came quickly. That's Arias Parrish giving chase.
That's too good coverage. It would be sacks if they tackled him, but they forced him to throw the ball out of bounds because they couldn't find anybody open.
Stops the clock with 1:20.
And now, with this passing, Harry Wright's in danger of giving the ball back to the Ruffers in good field position, and they have, I think, still 2 timeouts left.
Ruffers without Kenyon Goodson tonight playing with, in this situation, Jamie Beasley going to kind of play a nickel man in the deep pass receiving coverage. Jacinto Miller over on the far side in a cornerback spot. Now the Bruins chasing everybody all the way around, and
they don't have any timeouts left, do they?
I don't think so. I think Michael Kent was wanting to ask for a timeout.
Yeah, that's what he was doing.
Didn't have any. That'll be a delay of game penalty of backing up 5 yards. Kent was confused, so it'll
just the second penalty against
move it back 5, Dick, but it's going to make it 3rd down and 15 now.
Inside their own 10. So if the Ruffers
it's been a
hold
long
here,
season for the quarterback who's been the offense. Snap at the knees. Kent takes it, drops back in pressure. Now he's going to come right up the heart, trying to find running room. Second, third effort. He'll scramble and get some yardage. He'll get back the 5 yards lost, getting out to the 13-yard line. The Ruffers will stop the clock with 1:06 to go before the intermission and force the hand of the Bruins, Dylan Burson, to have to come aboard and try to kick the Bruins out of poor field position.
Ruffers lose a few seconds there as they didn't stop the clock right away.
55 seconds to go before halftime. End of year celebrations coming up in the not too far distant future.
Wow, that's hard to imagine, isn't it?
Yeah, this is week number 6, but it'll be time for those end of year get-togethers, recognizing your top performers at your business or your organization. That's when you need Martin Updike and his team at I-40 Sports and Awards. Just like the Hall of Fame awards that Muskogee presents each and every year to the Ruffer greats, Martin Updike and his crew can design something that's unique and looks great at the same time. Give them a call. Check them out over on Eastside Boulevard. I-40 Sports and Awards, owned and operated by former Ruffer quarterback Martin Updike.
Very right. Conversing with referee Jerry McCurley about
I think
something.
they may be trying to get the play clocks reset, Nick. The timeout was taken with 1:06 on the clock.
I was thinking a lot of time ran off there, but I guess they're going to leave it where it is.
Yeah, they've reset it to 1:07.
Oh,
so
okay, well, that's fine.
That's a better place on the radio dial, too,
all right.
than 55. 4th and 10 for the Bruins. Snap to Burson is at the goal line. He'll take it, launch it upfield. Ruffers will just get out of the way of it, and it'll roll out of bounds. See where the officials will say it hit the painted sideline. Is it going to be the 41-yard line?
41
It looks
or
like
2, yeah.
Be the 41-yard line again in Bruin territory with 1:01 to go here before halftime. So what kind of big play magic can the Ruffers come up here before the halftime break?
Well, I'd look at a pass. We haven't seen too many slants across the middle. A screen pass might be a good call, too, to Beasley and let him see what he can do with it.
Cason Delgado will direct the offense to the field. Chapman will be the running back. Beasley and Decaden Ford will be the pair of receivers out wide to the left. Delgado takes the snap. Good protection. Blitz comes up the middle. Throw the ball deep. Intended for Nunu, but the pass went over the outside edge, and Nunu turned to the inside boundary. And quite frankly, Delgado had to get rid of the football in a hurry because the linebacker was coming through on a blitz.
Yeah, he may have had to get rid of that a little sooner than he wanted to, and Nunu wasn't able to adjust. 2nd and 10 for the Ruffers.
Clock stops with now 54 seconds to go before halftime. This time, Ruffers will use a 3-receiver package to the left. Delgado will pull it, call his own number, and it's a nice single-leg takedown by the Bruin defender.
Going to be a loss of some yardage for
Back
Delgado.
upfield at the 44-yard line. And Muskogee will call a timeout here, Nick, with 43 seconds left to go before halftime, leading 27-0.
So long third down situation coming up for the Ruffers.
While the Ruffers talk it over with the coaching staff over on the sideline, let us remind you, whenever you're trying to buy or sell property, maybe it's commercial real estate, perhaps it's looking to relocate and find a new home that's right for your family. That's when you need real estate pros, and that's why you need the team at Century 21 First Choice Realty and the managing broker, Monica Medley. She knows the ins and the outs and can find you the right property you're looking for or help you find the right new owner for a property you're trying to sell. Whenever you're having questions about any type of real estate needs, you need somebody that knows the ins and outs and has all the right answers to get the job done. That's why you need Monica Medley and her team at Century 21 Century 21 First Choice Realty, a friend of Muskogee Rougher football.
So the Ruffers now looking at a third down and 13 from their own 44, from the Bruin 44.
Twin receivers out left and right. Bruins 4-man front ready to tee off. Chaplin leaves an empty backfield. Delgado in the pocket. They throw it underneath. It's caught in space. This is Ford, 35-30, 25 DK. Little shift to the feet to the boundary, 20, 15, 10 to the end zone. Did he get in? Touchdown. That one goes 44 yards. A little bubble screen underneath, and Decaden Ford takes it and goes to the house for 6 more.
Ruffers nicely done. So Ford with the 44-yard reception touchdown. Delgado's first passing touchdown of the night.
Well, that didn't take long either. 2 plays to go the 41 yards with 32 seconds left. Muskogee has put up 33, and Zeppelin ball along will try to make it 44. Or I should say 34. High snap again, but Barnowski with strong hands able to grab it. The kick splits the uprights. It's good. And the Ruffers have turned a 6-0 contest after 12 minutes into a lopsided 34-0 advantage here as halftime is just moments away. This game got ugly in a hurry, didn't it?
It did. Ruffers shot themselves in the foot earlier in the game after Chaplin's long touchdown run. Then they went on a spree of pre-snap penalties that killed offensive drives and finally got going here on their last 3 possessions where they've scored. Actually 4 possessions, I guess, if you will.
Ruffers have now gone, Nick, 6 straight quarters of scoreless football, holding the opponents out of the end zone. 4 last week in the shutout over PCW. And now here, just 32 seconds to go before intermission. Don't forget, next Thursday, we'll be back at Ruffer Village. It's a short week because of the fall break. Ruffers will entertain Capitol Hill in a 7 o'clock game. Want to have a big house there to welcome the Ruffers back home. Ball along will approach. He'll hammer this kick deep to the boundary over on the far side. Caught it to 8. Up to the 20, the 25, and trying to find the boundary, and finally changing directions, trying to fight back against the grain, and they're going to mark the forward progress where?
At the 28, I think.
That's where they'll mark it. See what Harry Wright and his offensive brain trust will opt to do here. There hasn't been much that has worked to perfection. Couple of scrambles by the quarterback, Michael Kent, and maybe one pass play for more than just a 5 or 6 yard pickup.
Kent just 4 of 11 passing so far tonight with an interception.
Dayton Stevens will be the running back. He'll line up alongside Kenneth Stevens, who starts right and slashes back in the middle up to about the 35-yard line, a gain of 6. And that most likely will be the final snap of the opening 2 quarters of play. As the teams hustle kind of over to their own respective sidelines. Bruins looking for the dressing room. Ruffers will return the favor. And after 2 quarters tonight here at Custer Stadium, Muskogee taking an overwhelming advantage over the Bruins. Ruffers 34, Bartlesville 0. We're back after the timeout. We'll welcome in this week's TTCU Teacher of the Game. First, this 3-minute timeout. This is Ruffer football here in 2025.
Folks, Kyle Edwards, GMC in Muskogee. I was born and raised in Muskogee. Our family has owned the GMC dealership for over 50 years. We take great pride in being in the Muskogee community. Things have changed over the years, but one thing remains the same, our desire to take care of our customers. Looking for a new GMC truck or SUV? We've got them, and you have our commitment to give you the best buying experience around. From sales, parts, or service, we are here for you. You have my promise to give you the best selection, best price, and the most for your trade-in at 1600 North Main in Muskogee or KyleEdwardsGMC.com.
The world of education is driven by numbers. So is the one company more schools and universities call on when fire or water damage strikes. 1-800-SERVPRO. The #1 choice in commercial cleanup and restoration.
When it matters most. The name to remember? ServPro of Muskogee. 918-913-4490. Online at servpro.com.
There's never been a better time to find a great deal on a sedan, truck, or crossover at Nissan of Muskogee. Call 918-683-6605 or go to nissanofmuskogee.com. There's never been a better time to find a great deal on a sedan, truck, or crossover at Nissan of Muskogee. Call 918-683-6605 or go to nissanofmuskogee.com.
Proudly serving the elderly of the Muskogee community, Broadway Care Rehabilitation Center is a skilled nursing facility empowering better living through long-term care as well as many other respite care options. And coming soon to Broadway, the Memory Care Unit. At Broadway Care Rehabilitation, the amazing therapy department can help you or your loved one get back on their feet. Contracted with most major insurances, follow them on Facebook and see many of the enriching activities offered to the residents. Broadway Care Rehabilitation Center, proud to support the Muskogee Ruffers.
Have you been injured as the result of a car accident? Has your family been impacted by the death of a loved one caused by someone else's negligence? Whatever you're dealing with, you don't have to face it alone. At 222 Injury Lawyers, our dedicated personal injury attorneys are here to fight for the justice and compensation you deserve. Call 918-528-0222.
In times of need, it's comforting to see faces of people you know and trust. Cornerstone Funeral Home in Muskogee cherishes the opportunity to be there for you and your family in life's most challenging times when friends are most important. Cornerstone Funeral Home and Crematory welcomes the opportunity to answer any questions regarding planning and pre-arrangements for you and your loved ones. Experience the difference. Cornerstone Funeral Home, 1830 North York in Muskogee, where you'll find faces you know and reputations you trust.
Hey y'all, I am Bethany Gilmartin. I teach special education here at Muskogee High School. This is my first year as a teacher and my first year at Muskogee High School. And I think the best part of Rougher Nation is the kids and every single individual life that we get to touch while we're here. So thank you guys, and as always, it's a great day to be a Rougher.
This land was a tapestry of Indian nations and tiny towns that grew into great cities. Bank First is loyal to the shared mission of growth and success that built Oklahoma. That's why in more than 50 communities statewide, our banks are run by local leaders who stick together and work hard to continue unlocking Oklahoma's great promise. Bank First, loyal to Oklahoma, loyal to you.
At J. Hodge Chevrolet in Muskogee. Shop Silverados, Trailblazers, Colorados, and more. More new Chevys and top dollar for trade-in. 144 West Shawnee.
Ugh, my brother and sister left me again. They went back to school. Can you believe that? But don't worry, they still call me every morning, thanks to their brand new phones from Bravado Wireless. My sister even dropped hers in the pool. But Bravado's trade-in help has her covered. And my brother, he's flexing with the new iPhone 16 Pro Max. Like, how cool is that? Mom and Dad got deals too. Bravado's unlimited plan saved the whole family money.
Pioneer Abstract, proudly serving residential and commercial customers throughout Muskogee County since 1905. Serving banks, mortgage companies, and mortgage brokers with refinancing, purchase, 1031 tax-deferred exchanges, along with full escrow services and more. Pioneer Abstract offers the convenience of centralized services for escrow accounts, title insurance, and title searches. Pioneer Abstract, here yesterday, here today, and here tomorrow at 412 West Broadway in downtown Muskogee, or call Pioneer Abstract at 683-2904.
Runt's Barbecue serves up hand-rubbed, slow-cooked goodness. Anytime you're feeding a few hundred, hey, we're just tailgating with friends. Call the experts. Runt's Barbecue. Ribs, brisket, burnt ends, mouth-watering hot link, and smoked chicken, where everything is made from scratch, from the barbecue sauce to the banana pudding. Give us a try, and you won't be disappointed. Runt's Barbecue, 918-681-3900. Runt's Barbecue, slow-cooked goodness in Muskogee.
In sports, having the right winning strategy is often the difference between winning and losing. The same is true when you need legal representation. For more than 15 years, the law offices of Michael E. Finnerty have successfully provided the winning strategy with excellence and integrity for the people of the Muskogee area in matters of personal injury, Social Security disability, and workers' compensation issues. The law office, Muskogee trusts Michael A. Finnerty, ready to develop a winning strategy. Michael A. Finnerty, 436 Court Street in Muskogee. Call 687-1155. Online at finnertylaw.com.
Nick Hampton, Bill Huddleston back with you here at Custer Field in Bartlesville, where it's halftime, and the Muskogee Roughers comfortably on top of the Bartlesville Bruins by a score of 34-0. Taking a look at the statistics in the first half, it's been all Roughers in this first half of action. Muskogee with 7 first downs. They had some big plays, so they didn't have as many first downs as you might have thought with 34 points. 22 rushes for 136 yards on the ground for the Roughers. 7 of 10 passing for Cason Delgado this evening. He has had a good game. And then Stylen McHenry, 2 for 2 for 16. So the Roughers with a total of 114 yards through the air tonight on 9 of 12 passing. So that gives them 250 yards total offense this evening. That's right, 250 yards in total offense in this first half. No fumbles. Probably the only downside for the Roughers, 8 penalties in the first half. just about all of those were little pre-snap penalties, procedures, encroachments, things like that. They were all 5-yard penalties, and so the Roughers with 8 of those for 45 yards. Chaplin, 13 carries for 107 yards in that first half, and a touchdown, actually a couple of touchdowns for Chaplin in there. And the leading receiver actually was Decaden Ford, who had that long touchdown reception, 44 yards on that reception for him. So the Roughers with those numbers. For the Bartlesville Bruins, they had just 3 first downs in the first half, 12 rushes for 16 yards in the game. They were 4 of 11 passing with an interception, so 47 yards there. So it gives them a total offense of 63 yards in this first half, and they had 2 penalties in the half for 10 yards. Roberts, the leading receiver, a rusher, had 1 carry early in the game for 14 yards, and otherwise it's been Michael Kent doing most of the work, and he suffered some losses on sacks and tackles for losses. And so not much of an offense for the Bartlesville Bruins tonight, and they trail 34-0. Taking a look at how things have unfolded here in the football game, Roughers got off to an early start as they received the opening kickoff, got the ball at the 41-yard line, and on the second play, the first actually drew a penalty on the first play of the game, so they moved back from the 46 to the 41, and then Chaplin got 6 yards on a carry, and then he exploded for a 53-yard run on the second play of the game from scrimmage. 53 yards with a touchdown. The extra point attempt was blocked by the Bruins, and so with 11:17 to play in the first quarter, the Roughers led it by a score of 6-0. Bartlesville got the kickoff, the ensuing kick, got 1 first down as they moved the ball just short of midfield before they had to punt. Roughers got the ball back at the 38-yard line, or at the Bruin 38-yard line after a nice return. And then they went backwards on their possession as they went backwards all the way back to midfield, and on 4th down they ended up having to punt the ball away. Again, the Bruins took it, got a couple of first downs this time before Avon Goodland intercepted a pass for the Roughers. Brown to midfield, got it down to the 22-yard line where he returned it. The Roughers then took the ball 78 yards after that interception by Goodland. 78 yards in 11 plays, a lot of good running, and Chaplin with 13-yard run on the touchdown run with 9:18 to play in the second quarter. That made it 13-0 with the extra points. The Bruins went 3 and out. Roughers got the ball back deep in Bruin territory, starting at the 23-yard line. Just 6 plays to score, with McHenry scoring from 3 yards out on a run. Extra point made it 20-0. Then the Roughers, with an onside kick, recovered it, got the ball again in Bruin territory at the 44-yard line, and moved it down the field for yet another score, with Barnoski going over from 1 yard out to make it 27-0. The Bruins kind of gambled around on the ensuing kickoff and gave the Roughers some time on the clock, so the Roughers took the most of it as they got the ball again in Bruin territory at the 41-yard line, and it took them just 3 plays, with Delgado hitting Decaden Ford with a 44-yard touchdown pass. Extra point made it 34-0, and that's where we stand at halftime as the Bartlesville Band entertaining the crowd here at Custer Field. Let's take a 3-minute timeout. We'll come back with more of our halftime here from Custer Field in Bartlesville. Roughers 34, the Bruins nothing. You're watching Rougher Football.
Pain is temporary, pride is forever. At Excel Therapy, we want to be your athlete's advocate for excellence. We offer treatment methods that focus on strengthening muscles and improving flexibility to improve your overall performance. And when injury sets in, Excel Therapy can aid in the recovery process. We know it's important to get back in the game, so trust the comeback experts Excel Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine. With 16 locations and no physician referral required, you can begin healing today. Look for us online at exceltherapyok.com.
Folks, Kyle Edwards, GMC in Muskogee. I was born and raised in Muskogee. Our family has owned the GMC dealership for over 50 years. We take great pride in being in the Muskogee community. Things have changed over the years, but one thing remains the same, our desire to take care of our customers. Looking for a new GMC truck or SUV? We've got them, and you have our commitment to give you the best buying experience around. From sales, parts, or service, we are here for you. You have my promise to give you the best selection, best price, and the most for your trade-in at 1600 North Main in Muskogee or KyleEdwardsGMC.com.
The world of education is driven by numbers. So is the one company more schools and universities call on when fire or water damage strikes. 1-800-SERVPRO. The #1 choice in commercial cleanup and restoration.
When it matters most. The name to remember? ServPro of Muskogee. 918-913-4490. Online at servpro.com.
There's never been a better time to find a great deal on a sedan, truck, or crossover at Nissan of Muskogee. Call 918-683-6605 or go to nissanofmuskogee.com. There's never been a better time to find a great deal on a sedan, truck, or crossover at Nissan of Muskogee. Call 918-683-6605 or go to nissanofmuskogee.com.
Proudly serving the elderly of the Muskogee community, Broadway Care Rehabilitation Center is a skilled nursing facility empowering better living through long-term care as well as many other respite care options. And coming soon to Broadway, the Memory Care Unit. At Broadway Care Rehabilitation, the amazing therapy department can help you or your loved one get back on their feet. Contracted with most major insurances, follow them on Facebook and see many of the enriching activities offered to the residents. Broadway Care Rehabilitation Center, proud to support the Muskogee Roughers.
Have you been injured as the result of a car accident? Has your family been impacted by the death of a loved one caused by someone else's negligence? Whatever you're dealing with, you don't have to face it alone. At 222 Injury Lawyers, our dedicated personal injury attorneys are here to fight for the justice and compensation you deserve. Call 918-528-0222.
Back at Custer Stadium in Bartlesville, Bill Huddleston, Nick Hampton on week number 6. Hard to believe, Nick, already more than halfway through the 2025 regular season. And the Ruffers here at halftime doing what they came to do, take care of their business in the opening 2 quarters, turning kind of a first 12 minutes of action and a 6-0 lead, considering you scored on the second play of the game, but then exploding in the second quarter, turning it into a 34-0 advantage.
Yeah, the Ruffers went through that little spell there where they had 5 or 6 of those pre-snap penalties that just killed their drives, and then the offense kind of stalled out a little bit too, and so they went through a possession or two where they didn't get anything done until, like you said, about halfway through that second quarter, then things came unglued for the Bruins as the Ruffers scored on 4 straight possessions and owned this 34-0 lead.
When we talked to Harry Wright earlier this week, he was cautiously optimistic that he could get the return of Sutton Williams to the backfield as a running back threat, but we've seen no indication of him taking any touches tonight. And he was also hoping that with homecoming and the big crowd that would be anticipated here at Custer Stadium could carry over to the field of play. But perhaps that thunderstorm that rolled through just before tonight's kickoff, about an hour before the game started, kind of put a damp on things.
It may have, and that was really a big rain. We had, I bet they had an inch and a half in about 45 minutes or so, and so that kind of dampened the spirits, I think, a little bit, and maybe have dampened the crowd's enthusiasm. We have a decent following from Muskogee on hand on the other side of the field tonight.
And they had to go through some challenges to get here, too, on some highway construction. And
a wreck on the turnpike, I understand.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, yeah, they had to fight their way up here, basically. So a nice crowd on hand for the Ruffers to view this game this evening with a 34-0 advantage.
Taking a look at some other scores in Class 6A2 and specifically District 2 of 6A2. Coming into play tonight, 3 teams remaining undefeated. Sapulpa got the big win last night over Putnam City West, 44-6. They're now 4-2 on the year and 3-0 in league play. Sand Springs tonight in action. The Sandites taking care of their business against a quality opponent, Ponca City, with a 21-0 halftime advantage. And Putnam City North taking on next week's opponent for the Ruffers, Capitol Hill. And the Panthers taking no prisoners. They lead 41-0 at halftime against Capitol Hill. Of course, Capitol Hill will be in Ruffer Village on the Thursday night game of the season. Fall break coming up this week, just 3 days of classroom opportunities for the teachers and the students. And then Thursday's fall break contest, that'll be a 7 o'clock kickoff at Ruffer Village. Muskogee taking on taking on Capitol Hill. And then following that game, Ruffers will have a back-to-back home schedule because they'll be at home for the first time 2 consecutive weeks on the 24th of October, entertaining Sand Springs, which, Nick, if things continue to play out the way we expect they would, that could be well for deciding who wins the district championship.
It could, very well, yes, indeed. Now, Ruffers and Sand Springs, we talked to Caden Harkin this week a little bit, and he did a story in the newspaper for him, and he talked a little bit about looking forward. One of the keys for him, one of the games of his memory was last year in that Sand Springs game. He had 2 or 3 sacks and a couple of tackles for loss in that game, and so we talked a little bit about that and about Easton Webb and how you're going to defend him and kind of the things to look forward to. So that's definitely a game that I know he has circled, and I'm sure a lot of the Ruffers do. But, that's one of those things you can't look too far forward. You got to remember, the game next week against Capitol Hill you got to get ready for. So that game a couple of weeks away, but that will be a big one for the Ruffers.
Some other scores of teams of local interest. Ada entertaining Hilldale tonight, but the Hornets with a 24-21 halftime advantage. Fort Gibson traveling to Grove, where the home team has a 14-7 lead over the Tigers. Wagner having no problem with Catoosa with a 35-0 shutout. That's at intermission. And Sequoia Tahlequah having their way with a 31-0 halftime lead over Central out of Tulsa. Here at halftime in Bartlesville, it's the Ruffers 34 and the Bruins 0. Ruffers have now recorded 6 consecutive scoreless defensive quarters to their credit, and will look to do the same in the final 2 quarters here tonight while adding to their point total. Sand Springs will get the football to begin the second half. Ruffers will defend as the 2 teams start making their way out for some required exercise and stretching. We'll take a time out to stretch a little bit of ourselves, give you a chance to do the same thing. We're glad to have you aboard on Ruffer Football in 2025. Glad to have the support of Pioneer Abstract, Runts Barbecue, which hosts our Tuesday night coaches show each and every week from 6:30 until the top of the hour at 7 o'clock. And treat this broadcaster and Coach Condit and the Ruffer crew that's on hand some great tasting food each and every time you go through the doors at Runts Barbecue in Muskogee. 34-0 is the halftime score. We'll be back for the second half kickoff. But first, this 2-minute timeout. This is Ruffer.
In times of need, it's comforting to see faces of people you know and trust. Cornerstone Funeral Home in Muskogee cherishes the opportunity to be there for you and your family in life's most challenging times when friends are most important. Cornerstone Funeral Home and Crematory welcomes the opportunity to answer any questions regarding planning and pre-arrangements for you and your loved ones. Experience the difference. Cornerstone Funeral Home, 1830 North York in Muskogee, where you'll find faces you know and reputations you trust.
This land was a tapestry of Indian nations and tiny towns that grew into great cities. Bank First is loyal to the shared mission of growth and success that built Oklahoma. That's why in more than 50 communities statewide, our banks are run by local leaders who stick together and work hard to continue unlocking Oklahoma's great promise. Bank First, loyal to Oklahoma, loyal to you.
At J. Hodge Chevrolet in Muskogee. Shop Silverados, Trailblazers, Colorados, and more. More new Chevys and top dollar for trade-in. 144 West Shawnee.
morning, thanks to their brand new phones from Bravado Wireless.
My sister even dropped hers in the pool, but Bravado's trade-in help has her covered.
And my brother, he's flexing with the new iPhone 16 Pro Max. Like, how cool is that?
Mom and Dad got deals too. Bravado's unlimited plan saved the whole family money.
At J. Hodge Chevrolet in Muskogee. Shop Silverados, Trailblazers, Colorados, and more. More new Chevys and top dollar for trade-in. 144 West Shawnee.
Bill Huddleston, Nick Hampton with you on this game number 6 of the 2025 campaign. And the Muskogee Ruffers trying to even their record, Nick, at 3-3 and 3 consecutive wins. They're halfway home to that win number 3 with a 34-0 halftime lead over the Bruins on their homecoming night here in Bartlesville.
Well, that's a nice feeling, I'm sure, for the Ruffers after those first 3 games where they faced 3 quality opponents and came away empty. To be able to come back now and be able to even their record gives them a lot of confidence going into this one, and then the game next Thursday against Capitol Hill can put them above the 500 mark. So that'll be a big confidence booster to get this win, finish this one up, and then get the win next week and get back on top. Ruffers finished their limbering. They're ready to go on the far sideline. Bartlesville in the south end zone, still kind of running around, ready to go. See what Harry Wright's going to try to come up with now to try to get a spark for his offense. As you mentioned, Sutton Williams, one of their key running backs and one of their linebackers, out for tonight's game, and that kind of hurts, leaving Michael Kent to have to really kind of do everything on his own, and he just hadn't been able to match the Ruffers' speed or the intensity of the defense tonight and hadn't been able to generate much offense at all. Meanwhile, the Ruffers, after scoring an initial touchdown on the 53-yard run by Chaplin, had a couple of series where they misfired on penalties and bogged down a little bit, but then scored on their last 4 possessions of the first half. And so they've opened up a big lead here and kind of have themselves in the driver's seat at this point in the game as the Ruffers now start to move out on the field and get ready to take the opening or the kickoff. They will kick it off to start this third quarter. The Bruins will get possession. And the Bruins now back on the sideline, and they deploy, and we're just a few seconds away from getting this third quarter underway.
While you were setting the stage there for the start of the third quarter, Nick, I was busily trying to scroll through the scoreboards in Arkansas to find out some scoreboard updates. There is a big game going on this week between the number 1 and number 2 teams in the state in Class 7A, both of which were opponents for the Ruffers earlier this season, that being Bentonville West and Rogers. We'll try to see if we can't find a result on that game as we continue on here tonight. But the Ruffers with a 34-0 lead.
That shows you the quality of opponents that they played in those first couple of games.
So Zeppelin Ballalong will approach. He'll kick it across the field. Bruins will settle under it. Bring it out to the 25. Slip the first contact, but then the return man slides to a screeching halt at the 27-yard line. That's where the Bruins will start for their first possession here at quarter number 3. Bartlesville has been plagued by 4 poor field position. Their best field position for any series in that first half was the first time they touched the football, Nick. They took over at their own 35-yard line, got a first down, but then there was hardly anything else left in the tank from that point on.
So let's see if they can find some kind of magic wand to wave here and get some kind of offense going.
Kent will be at the quarterback spot. He'll hand it off to Dayton Edwards, who tries to, or Dayton Stevens rather, who tries to dance around in the backfield. Is actually going to be stymied short of the initial line of scrimmage. See where they'll actually place the football on the turf. Be a kind spot, call it no gain.
2nd and 10 for the Bruins, as they just really have become one-dimensional. About the only way they've been able to move any kind of offense is through the air, and being 34 down, you've got to think they don't have much choice but to try that.
Hayden Von Holt, Jack Green, and Kyron Cope have been tenacious in that 3-man defensive front. Here's the direct snap. Kent's going to throw it out in space to a targeted receiver who slides the first contact, but then can't avoid the oncoming pressure of rougher teammates. Now tempers get a little bit short over here on the sideline. Bruins have got a guy down on the field. Officials trying to get between players, and now there's a lot of pushing. Arias Parrish is in it.
All kinds
as
of.
Well, the rougher coaches have to sprint across the sideline to try to get everybody out of control. But I think we may be seeing some.
Trey Jackson's over there in the middle of it. Caden Ford.
There were also some Bruins that were trying to ignite situations out on the field, too. We'll leave the names out of it, Nick. Let the officials do all the deciding here. But I think there will be one or two players that may find an injection. See how the official will.
At least a couple of flags thrown in there.
There was quite a skirmish going on, and there didn't seem to be any hurry over on this Bruin sideline to get things stopped. Referee should give us an indication now. The white hat telling the Bartlesville coach to return back to his sideline. Jeremy McCurley, the white hat, he'll talk with his two officiating partners.
See what the call is going to be. The play ended at around the 30-yard line, right in that area with the out-of-bounds play. Would have been a run because it was a backwards pass.
Coach Condit and Coach Wright will exchange a friendly word or two, while the men wearing the stripes here tonight will go to their cards and see what kind of penalties will be handed out. I kind of feel like I'm watching Banfield. We're looking out of the replay, Nick. Oh, okay. Rogers leading Bentonville West 35-14.
Wow, that surprises me.
Not really, my friend.
No.
Although Brian Pratt, a longtime friend of mine, certainly has got his team going in the right direction this year, but they're not having the best of nights against the Mounties.
Long discussion here with the officials on what
Very
we're
long
do.
discussion. I think it's going to be more of, there'll be offsetting penalties, I don't think that without question. How many players will be sidelined because of this? Everybody, officials just taking all their time. See if our referee will give us a microphone explanation or if he'll just come over and talk with the two head coaches. This might be a good time to talk about insurance, wouldn't it? you need some insurance. When you need insurance, that's when you need David Cobb, like a good neighbor. State Farm is there. Head coach is being called out to the center of the field by the referee for discussion. I'm sure they'll explain what the guys wearing the whistles tonight have seen and see who will be ejected in this situation. A couple of Bruin players had a rougher down pinned on the ground, and we're going after it. We'll just kind of stay, from our vantage point, a very neutral situation. Just started the second half of play. And we're less than a minute into the third quarter before this fracas broke out. Condit's headed back to his sideline. So
this has been now about a 5-minute discussion about what we're going to do here.
Not sure our referee is even mic'd. Let's see.
Not sure either. Sportsmanlike conduct against Bartlesville. Someone is out. Sportsmanlike against Bartlesville again. 3 unsportsmanlikes against Bartlesville. And 1 against the Roughers.
Somebody from the Roughers.
Somebody
also,
for the Roughers got.
I think now here's going to come the second series of flags against the Roughers. So at least one player from each team has been ejected.
It's all offsetting.
The penalties will all be offsetting. We don't know the name or the number of the player that was ejected.
Meanwhile, the ball will be at the 33-yard line after all that, so it was about a 6-yard gain. Well, they don't know the numbers either or the names, so.
PA announcer telling that there's one Bruin that was ejected and 2 Roughers that were tossed. Now, Dale Cottis not too happy about that situation as he continues to the gain was a 6-yard pickup to the 33-yard line. So it'll be 3rd down and 4. As those penalties all occurred after the play. Kent with the running back. Ruppers crowding the line of scrimmage as if they're going to come and get the quarterback. Now, at the play clock at 10, Kent will set his running back to his left. They'll come down the line on the stretch, hand it off in traffic. Not a lot of running room this time for the Bruin running back. He'll get upfield to, it's like the 34, so that'll be a 1-yard pickup.
So it'll be 4th
Ball
down.
carrier that time was Bowden Roberts, Nick.
4th and about 2 for the Bruins.
So big gamble here for Harry Wright. His ball club trailing 34-0. Here starting the 3rd. Snap is to Kent. He rolls to his right. He's in trouble, and he is corralled and dropped behind the line of scrimmage. Ruppers had a host of players there. One of the first guys in green.
Holt, wasn't it?
Ace Cherry was in there. Von Holt was back there.
So he loses back to the 27.
And the ball goes over on down. So it's actually a loss of 7 on the play. And Bartlesville will give the Ruppers again a big gift here on their first possession of the 3rd quarter. 10:28 in the clock running. Ruppers with a 34-0 halftime lead. They'll touch the football for the first time here tonight. Jamie Beasley will be part of the wide receiver package. Marquise Chaplin will be the running back. Trips are out wide to the right with Beasley to the boundary left. Delgado will take it. He'll give it to Chap. Has a blocker in front. That's Decaden Ford. He cuts inside of that contact. Inside the 20, twisting and driving it downfield. He'll get to about the 16-yard line. Going to get 11. And a Kyle Edwards GMC rougher. 1st down and 10.
Nicely done.
Decaden Ford doing a good job blocking out on the edge that time. And Chaplin showing his determination to reach the 16.
118 yards on the ground tonight for Chaplin.
Nunu James will be the single receiver. He'll be to the right side. That's the short side of the field. Beasley and Ford come split to the left. Delgado will call his own number inside the 15, the 10, the 5, right up the middle. He'll dive for the end zone. Touchdown, Muskogee. Kaysen Delgado pulls it out of the Bel Air Marquise. They all jump in on the running back who's been doing most of the running, and the quickness of Kaysen Delgado on the quarterback keeper races in from 16 yards away, and the Ruffers have put another 6 points on the scoreboard.
Delgado with the run. That is his first rushing touchdown of the year.
Now we'll see. It'll be Zevelin Ballalong on to try yet another point after touchdown. It was 40. Z to try to make it 41. Snap down, kicks away, it's good. Timeout on the field, 9:51 to play here in the 3rd. It got a little sloppy at the start of this 3rd 12-minute stanza. But the Ruppers take advantage of another gamble by the Bruins on a short yardage situation, coming up with a sack. And then take over, and 2 plays later go 27 yards with Delgado doing the scoring on a 16-yard keeper. 41-0. Ruffers on top of Bartlesville. Back in 30 seconds. This is Ruffer Football 2025.
Pioneer Abstract, proudly serving residential and commercial customers throughout Muskogee County since 1905. Serving banks, mortgage companies, and mortgage brokers with refinancing, purchase, 1031 tax-deferred exchanges, along with full escrow services and more. Pioneer Abstract offers the convenience of centralized services for escrow accounts, title insurance, and title searches. Pioneer Abstract, here yesterday, here today, and here tomorrow at 412 West Broadway in downtown Muskogee, or call Pioneer Abstract at 683-2904.
Bill Littleson, Nick Hampton, back at Custer Stadium in Bartlesville. Ruffers with a now 41-0 advantage over the Bruins. Here starting quarter number 3.
Ballalong has been a busy guy tonight with kickoffs and extra points.
Remember, he had that one block PAT, and that's the only one.
Yep.
Again, here's another angled kick. It's a little shorter kick fielded by the Bruins at the 20. Trying to dart to the outside edge, and there's 1, 2, 3 white shirts down on the special teams unit. First guy they got downfield that time for the Ruffers looked like was Jonathan Adams leading the charge. And the tackle will be made at the 31-yard line.
I would imagine we'll start seeing some of the seconds in the game now pretty quickly for the Ruffers.
Kind of depends how all that plays out. Cole McQueen now in a linebacker spot. So you may wonder if that one of those players that was lifted was Arias Parrish. We'll have to wait and see who were the guilty parties, but it'll be 1st and 10 Bruins from their own 31. Kent going to throw it out on the wheel. Ruffers are out there. They've got it corralled. Running back trying to cut back as Von Holt stood it up, and then the Ruffers come on, and a little late shove by one of the Ruffer players. That was JoJo Alexander.
They'll spot the backward progress in this case.
Call it no gain.
No gain. So second and 10.
Here's where you have to remind your players, no matter the score for both teams, guys, there's a game next week to play. You don't want to find yourself under duress and forced to watch next week's contest. Kent with a running back to his right, trips out to the left side, rolling snap back, and he's going to run for his life. He'll look to escape, and he can't outrun the pressure. Hayden Von Holt in at the ankles of the quarterback, Michael Kent.
Great pursuit by Von Holt.
Boy, it was. That was a bad snap. Kent did his best just to pick the ball up, and then try to avoid the onrushing Hayden Von Holt. That's a quarterback sack. And mark it all the way back at the 17-yard line. So it's a 14-yard loss. And Michael Kent, who has been the offense for the Bruins, Nick, has been the target of the Ruffer defensive attack here this evening.
Well, and that's the problem with the Bruins offense is that Kent is it, and so the Ruffers are just going to pin their ears back and come after him, and that's what's happened tonight.
So now on a 3rd down and a bunch. Got to go all the way to the 41. Kent back in the pocket, still in trouble. Bounces off one tackler. Ruffers continue to give chase, and Kent will just airmail the pass way out of bounds, and the Ruffers going to get called for a late hit on the quarterback. Caden Harkin was giving chase, and as the ball released, the referee says you were a little late in making that contact. That's going to be a personal foul against the Ruffers for roughing.
Yep, roughing.
Officials here, Nick, got to keep this game under control.
So that'll be an automatic 1st down for the Bruins.
Take it from the previous spot, which was the 17, out to the 32. But the roughing the passer puts the ball to 32, but it gives Bartlesville by flag a 1st and 10. So 2 receivers, Roberts on the inside track. Gavin Thomas on the outside far left edge. Kent takes the snap, wants to hand it off, pulls it, tries to get to the corner, just giving chase. This one he just throws out of bounds. There's nobody in the area as Kent gets shoved over on the artificial turf. That could have just as easily been a grounding situation because it was closer to throwing it to the training staff than it was any player on the field to play. But he was outside the box, so it'll be an incomplete pass. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
Ruffers just really after Michael Kent tonight. He just
kind of like you had made the bull in the arena mad.
That's true.
So trips go out wide left. Kent takes the waist-high snap, settles back, now sprints right up the middle, throws it up for grabs. It's upfield and knocked out of the hands of Bowden Roberts.
Kyron Cope had Kent in his sights back there, but Kent managed just to barely elude him.
Jamie Beasley was the Ruffer in defensive coverage against Bowden Roberts. So that'll stop the clock with 7:48 left here in quarter number 3. Ruffers, in case you missed it, led 6-0 after the game's 2nd play. Led 6-0 after 12 minutes. By halftime, had made it 34-0, and then have added a short field 27-yard drive with a 16-yard run from Cason Delgado and the extra point, making it 41-0. Bruins with the ball from their own 32. 3rd down and 10. Throw the underneath route. It's bobbled and caught by Matthew Sears.
But he'll lose yardage.
Yeah, he will. I mean, it's just one of those RPO situations where they step up and step back and try to catch nobody at home, and they'll call it complete. I think Sears was trying to say, or Ken is trying to say, that he never really had control of it. But they'll lose the yardage. And it'll make it a 4th down and 13 situation.
Well, I would think that Harry Wright surely will punt here, wouldn't you think?
They have it all night long, haven't they? And now here comes the punting unit.
They've had one punt.
Down 41-0 with 7:03 and the clock running here in quarter number 3. Play clock was late in getting set for play. Ruffers will put one man back deep. That's to Caden Ford. Bartlesville having to hurry with personnel on the field. Sutton Williams on this punting unit late getting to the field. The play clock expires and the referee's whistle sounds and the flags come flying. That's going to be a delay of game call. So some unorganized special teams for the Bruins, resulting in another 5-yard flag.
That's just the 3rd of the night against the Bruins. Ruffers, after having a lot of problems with the penalties in the first half, just have the one for roughing the passer here in the second half. So the ball now back to the 24 is where it should be marked.
Right.
There it is. Yep, okay.
4th down, and the Bruins will punt again. Or try to punt again.
Dylan Brunson.
High snap. Brunson pulls it out of midair, and he puts it up into the night sky. Ruffers will just get out of the way of this one, let it bound around. It'll roll across the midfield stripe and then tumble out of bounds right around the 45-yard line in Muskogee territory. So the Ruffers will get it back. 6:31 left to go here in the 3rd quarter of action. See how the personnel lineups will return to the field here. Ruffer defense has been quite aggressive tonight. Would you agree, Nick?
Oh, to say the least, yeah. They would like to get another score here on the board in this 3rd quarter. Get up close to the point where they might have a running clock in the 4th and get out of here.
The offense with Delgado at quarterback, Chaplin the running back, Jamie Beasley the receiver to the short side left. Trips go out wide to the right. Kaysen puts Chaplin in motion. He'll throw a little swing route out on a wheel. This is Chaplin. Open space 50 to the boundary 45, 40 into Bartlesville territory. And that play will go all the way to the 35-yard line on the opposite end. 20 yards on the pass and run combo from Delgado to Chaplin. And the Kyle Everett GMC Ruffer 1st down and 10 again.
Puts Delgado now over 100 yards passing tonight.
Decaden Ford and Jamie Beasley will be paired up outside wide to the left. Twins go to the boundary. Now they'll bring motion back against the grain. Hand it off in traffic. This is Chaplin in the middle. 30, 25. Chap diving inside the 25 to about the 23-yard line. That'll be without a flag, but there is one.
There is a flag. Unfortunately,
it'll be a holding call. I would almost bet the house on.
Right at the line of scrimmage. Well, personal foul of some kind. Face mask against the Ruffer, or against the
one of the Ruffers, yeah. So that'll be a 15-yard walk-off, moving it back from the 35 all the way back out to the midfield stripe.
10th penalty of the night against the Ruffers for 75 yards now.
3 5s adorning the scoreboard, 5:55 and counting. Ruffers have a 1st and 25 now. Nunu James and Avon Goodland, along with, they'll bring Avon in motion. They'll counter inside, give it off to Chap, trying to get to the boundary. Got a good block on the edge from Nunu. And that allowed Marquise Chaplin to sprint downfield from the 50 to what looks to be the 40-yard line. So he'll get 10 of the 15 lost on the penalty. And the Ruffers will face a 2nd and 15 yards to go. Don't forget, Thursday night this upcoming week, when the Ruffers will be at home at Ruffer Village, they'll take on Capitol Hill, who tonight at halftime was having no kind of fun. They trailed Putnam City North 41-0. Delgado this time with 3 wide receivers out to the left side. DK will look that way, or Kaysen will look that way, and he'll throw it off the fingertips of Marquise Chaplin. The incomplete pass will stop the clock with 4:53 to go. And guys, I don't know about you, but it appears to me there's becoming quite a little fog on the outside of the windows here. It's a lot of moisture in there and a lot of humidity. Perhaps the cooler temperatures inside here too, guys. We might have to open this window just to kind of clear things up a little bit. But I don't know. We'll let it play out. 3rd down and 15. Glad to have you aboard here at Ruffer Football in 2025. Hope that you'll make note of our participating partners in each and every broadcast here on Ruffer TV. Delgado in the backfield. Blitz comes underneath, bubble screen, tipped it, and it's incomplete. Kaysen just doing his job to avoid the oncoming bull rush of the Bruin defender. That'll bring up a 4th and 15 from the 40-yard line.
So the Ruffer offense, which was full speed ahead for most of the second quarter, now it's kind of have they scored a touchdown on their first possession and kind of bogged down on this drive.
Jamie Beasley will be one of 3 receivers to the left. Delgado in the pocket, scrambles to his left, looks to throw upfield to a targeted receiver, but it's way off target. It was actually now penalties.
Oh,
and we may have a couple of flags thrown again. Delgado got hit late. Well, you don't want to see that. One of the Bruins hitting the quarterback late, and then Kaysen kind of responding in his own defense.
We may have a couple of penalties here.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer against Bartlesville. Personal foul, unsportsmanlike conduct against Muskogee. Penalties will offset. Now, what you do not hope, or you do hope doesn't occur here, is that you don't get yourself ejected.
Well, this game is starting to get out of the officials' control as the teams obviously have a little bit of bitter feelings about one another now after that sideline brawl here earlier in the third quarter. So tempers running a little bit hot on both sides.
These penalties will be offsetting. There was a personal foul for the late hit on Kaysen Delgado, and then a unsportsmanlike conduct penalty against the Ruffers. The referee threw his flag, and then in continuation threw his white hat down on the turf, and now he'll go over and talk with Dale Conant about the circumstances. The Ruffer boss sure won't protest too much, Nick, but also got to think he's not happy with the temperament of the players on the field on either side.
Sure, he's telling his players, just cool it here, guys.
Now, the roughing the passer, though, results in a first down?
I guess so.
It does. That's the net result, so all things good. Steiner McHenry now comes in. He'll take over at quarterback. Ruffers have it 1st and 10 from the 40-yard line in Bruin territory. Steiner will take it. He'll stand in the pocket. Just going to throw it over the top. Pitch and catch. Easy 6.
That was pretty easy. You're
Receiver
right.
just ran by. And that was, if I can see it right.
I think it is Nunu, isn't it?
No, I'm not sure. Was it Nunu or was it Magnac?
That was Magnac. Yeah, you're right. 6.
Yeah, 6, not 8.
Yep. So 40-yard touchdown pass. Delgado to
Steiner McHenry.
Oh, McHenry. I'm sorry.
To Junior Magnac. That's 2 weeks in a row that tandem is hooked up for a touchdown. And now Zeppelin ball along will try the PAT. The kick's away, and this one is up and good. Timeout on the field. 4:37 left. Ruffers have made it a 48-0 shellacking of the Bruins here tonight at Custer Stadium. Back in 30 seconds on Ruffer Football 2025.
Brunt's Barbecue serves up hand-rubbed, slow-cooked goodness. Anytime you're feeding a few hundred, hey, we're just tailgating with friends. Call the experts. Brunt's Barbecue. Ribs, brisket, burnt ends, mouth-watering hot link, and smoked chicken. Where everything is made from scratch, from the barbecue sauce to the banana pudding. Give us a try, and you won't be disappointed. Brunt's Barbecue. 918-681-3900. Brunt's Barbecue. Slow-cooked goodness in Muskogee.
Back in Bartlesville, 4:37 left here in quarter number 3. Ruffers have turned the 34-0 advantage at half into a pair of scores and a 48-0 advantage over the Bruins on their homecoming night. Conversation with officials on both sides to the head coaches during that last exchange. Here's the kick. It's a shorter kick. Bruins will pick it up on a hop at about the 27, trying to come to the corner. Special teams down there doing their job. Cruz Delgado was one of the guys down there, along with his teammates Matthias Jones.
And once again, the Bruins will start around their own 32.
That seems to be the best
magic
field
number,
position they've had all night long.
They've been starting in that general vicinity most of the night.
Ruffers tonight here, next Thursday night back at home. Gavin Thomas and Bowden Roberts will be the pair of receivers out to the far left. And Michael Kent, who is just taking a beating from the Ruffer defensive group, hands it off to his running back trying to go left. That is Dayton Stevens. Stevens will get a few yards, but there's
another flag.
Laundry on the turf.
That might be a hold out there on the edge. Throwing just about the point where Stevens turned the corner.
Official Long and signaling the penalty. It's against the Bruins. So they'll mark it off 10 yards from the spot of the foul and move it back to the 24-yard line. 40-yard touchdown strike a moment ago from Steiner McHenry to Anthony Macnack Jr. 2 weeks in a row for the Big Mac attack.
Yep.
1st and 10, or 1st and 20 rather. Kent going to roll to his right, look to throw upfield in space, has a receiver open who makes the catch and then gets hammered immediately. Avon Goodland was the guy that got there for the Ruffers. Wyatt Mathis on the receiving end of that toss. He'll get 8 yards back. Actually only gets 6 from the 24 to the 30. Kent going to call his own number, try to cut back, and he'll run into JoJo and company. JoJo Alexander along with Cole McQueen. And
it's about a
yard. He got from the 30 to the 33, so a 3-yard pickup. It'll be 3rd down and now 9 yards to go. 3 minutes left here in quarter number 3. Ruffers have put 2 scores on the board here in the 3rd quarter as Kent works out of the shotgun. There's a pair of receivers outside wide to the left. Play clock counting down now to 5, now to 4. Kent looking left and right. 1-0. They don't snap the ball. Where's the whistle? None. Snap goes back to Kent. He's going to step up in the pocket and step right into the hands of the Ruffer defenders. Cole McQueen, Caden Harkin.
Another flag.
And another flag comes in at the feet of the players on the turf.
Right at the point of the tackle. Holding against the Bruins, decline. That'll bring up 4th down.
This tackle was made at the 29, Nick, so they lost 3 yards that they had gained on the preceding play.
So it'll be punting time for the Bruins.
Well, I don't see a punter out there.
Well, I say, yeah, no?
Nope.
Okay.
Michael Kent will work out of the shotgun with 3 receivers out wide to the left on a 4th and 13. Kent in the pocket. Just going to throw the deep ball down the sideline. Has a receiver, but it's way overthrown. Trying to target Gavin Thomas on the receiving area. And the Bruins again, Nick, wrap it up with a big green bow of gift wrap possession starting this time from the Bruin 29-yard line, trailing 48-0.
Well, the Roughers made quick work on the last one as they got the 40-yard touchdown from McHenry to McNack. Ended up with a 50-yard drive, basically, on that last possession.
Glad to have all of you aboard with us here on Rougher Football in 2025. Next Thursday night back at Rougher Village, as we've alluded to on a couple of occasions. McHenry will bring the offense to the field. 2 receivers out to the wide side right, single to the boundary left. McHenry squats, takes the play action and hands it off up the middle, and that'll be about 1-yard pickup for the Rougher ball carrier.
That's Adams. Jonathan Adams carrying the ball. Junior, 5'9", 165.
He's earned a lot of respect from the special teams coaches too, Nick, on his downfield pursuit of ball carriers.
He had some yardage last week in the game.
2nd and 8. Roughers looking to tack some more to their totals here tonight. Berryman and Nunu James go out wide to the right side as McHenry with Beasley to the boundary left will shift Adams over. They'll pitch it back to Adams, trying to get to the corner. Cuts inside of a tackler, breaks the first contact, will get positive yardage. Not near what he wanted. He'll go from the 27 to the 25 in net 2. And the clock will show 1:10 left here in quarter number 3.
3rd and 6 coming up for the Roughers from the 25.
The high humidity levels, Nick, casting almost a thin sheet of a fog over our windows. 3rd down and 6. Good to have an open territory for our camera crew. Now McHenry with twin receivers to the left side. Stands in the pocket, waits, throws across the middle, through behind the targeted receiver that time, who was Nunu James. It'll be 4th down and 6. So the clock stops on the incomplete forward pass with 39 seconds remaining.
In the 3rd quarter. So let's see what Mason Fine will come up with here, the offensive coordinator, on this 4th down and 6.
Again, he'll put Berryman and Beasley paired up to the boundary wide left. McHenry across the middle, throws it high. It's almost picked off. Pass incomplete. That'll turn the ball over on downs to Bartlesville at the 25-yard line. This is the 80th meeting all time between the two schools, and the Roughers are comfortably on their way to win number 50 in this series. Last time Bartlesville beat Muskogee was back in the 2020 season in a 52-24 victory. But the Roughers, with a win here tonight, will have won 9 of the last 10 encounters. Bruins Kent will bring the offense to the line of scrimmage at the 25-yard line. The snap, the handoff. This is Stevens trying to come right. Roughers good form tackling right at the line of scrimmage, making the stop. Getting there quickly was Ace Cherry. This is a young freshman that has a very high potential to become a prominent player for the Roughers. Ace Cherry's 5'11", 175 pounds, Nick. And if you look at him, it looks like he's been chiseled out of granite.
Yeah, and he's had some good, valuable minutes here these last 2 or 3 weeks.
Play clock's going to expire in the 3rd quarter. We played 3 quarters tonight here at Custer, And the Ruffers have an overwhelming advantage on the scoreboard, 48-0. We're back for the final 12 minutes of action after this timeout on Ruffer Football 2025.
In sports, having the right winning strategy is often the difference between winning and losing. The same is true when you need legal representation. For more than 15 years, the law offices of Michael E. Finnerty have successfully provided the winning strategy with excellence and integrity for the people of the Muskogee area in matters of personal injury, social security disability, and workers' compensation issues. The law office, Muskogee trusts Michael A. Finnerty, ready to develop a winning strategy. Michael A. Finnerty, 436 Court Street in Muskogee. Call 687-1155. Online at finnertylaw.com.
Pain is temporary, pride is forever. At Excel Therapy, we want to be your athlete's advocate for excellence. We offer treatment methods that focus thinning muscles and improving flexibility to improve your overall performance. And when injury sets in, Excel Therapy can aid in the recovery process. We know it's important to get back in the game, so trust the comeback experts, Excel Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine. With 16 locations and no physician referral required, you can begin healing today. Look for us online at exceltherapyok.com.
Back in Bartlesville, ready to go with the fourth quarter. Bill Huddleston, Nick Hampton, and our Ruffer TV crew. 12 minutes remain, but the Ruffers comfortably in front. 48-0 on their way to win number 3. Snap goes back to Kent. He'll play action. Dance around in the backfield, trying to elude defenders. Now running for his life at the 30 and out of bounds upfield about the 36-yard line. Ruffers were giving chase. At the time it was Sir Jose in at a defensive spot, forcing the Bruins quarterback out of bounds.
Gets the first down, though, just barely.
To the 36-yard line on the keeper. Actually going to put it back at the 35.
Right where he needed to go. So 8 yards gained by Kent.
Ruffers with a lot of new faces out there, Nick's going to force me and you to go to the rosters. Kent, very courageous young man. He's taken a beating tonight. He'll hand it off this time to Stevens, trying to go on the right side. Ruffers have more than enough jerseys out there to stop this play after about a 4-yard gain. Trey Jackson in helping out on the stop. And now at nose guard is Malachi Hopkins. One of the other defenders for the Muskogee here on the near side is Cruz Delgado, playing a corner over here on the near side. Devon Johnson, he's in at a defensive back spot. Play action. Kent's in trouble. He's being wrapped up and dragged down. Ruffers just had too many jerseys there again.
Drag him down for a loss.
That's
back.
James Hawes in on the backfield. Dragging Kent down for minus yardage back field to about the 32. He'll lose 8 on the play. Michael Kent was a little bit faster of foot earlier in this contest, Nick, but he has slowed a bit here in the second half. But he has been the recipient of a lot of physical contact from the defensive unit of the Muskogee Ruffers.
And he's had to run all over this field tonight, trying to get away.
Kent this time will put a trio of receivers out to the wide side left, single receiver on the boundary right. Snap is back to the junior play caller. Going to pump, going to shovel one underneath. That's a incomplete forward pass. Tried to throw it into the waiting grasp of one of his teammates. That time was Dayton Stevens.
And this time, Harry Wright will send the punting unit in.
Score is 48-0. A lot of people may be saying, well, why not a running clock? That does not go into effect until you reach the 50-point total. So the punter for the third time tonight aboard for Bartlesville. Snap is back, no real rush. Kick is away. Ruffers will field it, try to find some space, but don't have any. Good downfield coverage that time by the Bruins. It's on the return from Muskogee that time was Journey McJunkins. It's a name that has a flavor of
historic
athletic excellence on the part of Muskogee Ruffer football. Prince McJunkins.
Evan Goad was the tackler who made the nice play on that punt for Bartlesville.
So the offense for the Ruffers will sprint out onto the field. A lot of clean white jerseys. One of the wideouts will be McJunkins. He'll be on the numbers to the right side of the field. Twins go out to the left. Stein and McHenry waits on the snap. Hands it off. Big hole up the middle. 45 midfield into Bruin territory. That's the exciting athletic abilities of Jonathan Adams, a 5'9", 165-pound junior running back. He explodes from the 37 on one end to the 42 on the opposite end. 13 up, 8 down, 21 yards. And a Kyle Edwards GMC Rougher first down and 10. Big offensive lineman Peyton Armstrong seeing some action here in this series. Also in at the slot, Damarian Berryman. He's on the left on the hash mark. As McHenry takes the snap. Hands it off again to Adams.
Nice, good second effort by Adams. It looked like he had him stopped around the 41 or so, and he keeps going and gets back inside the 40 to the 38.
Tackle that time by Bartlesville made by Wyatt Mathis, the junior linebacker. Gain gets 4 to the 38. It'll be second down and 6. Henry will take the snap. He'll run to his left, looking to run or throw at the last minute, throw it deep and downfield. Had a receiver in the area, but really not much effort to be able to catch the football.
That was a very difficult throw, too, as he was twisted sideways, could never get his shoulders turned and thrown across his body.
Just trying to look to see who that targeted receiver was. Incomplete, whatever the circumstances. Ruppers will have second and 6. The clock stopped on the incomplete forward pass. Billy Williams, 5'11", 155-pound sophomore in at a wideout. He's the furthest guy over there, Nick. Actually, now he'll line up on the inside of the two, goes to the left side.
We have a penalty.
Yeah, trying to get the clock to run.
Balls move back to the 43.
McHenry with the running back Adams to his right. Steiner going to hand it off to Adams. He'll sprint right side, 40, inside of a block, 35. Still on his feet and powers his way inside the 30-yard line, all the way to pick up the Kyle Edwards GMC Rougher first down and 10 at the 30-yard stripe. Adams with a good burst of speed, Nick, and determined effort to get that first down marker.
That gets, 13 on that run?
Right. McHenry with Adams to his right. Takes the snap, gives it off again to the youngster, who this time meets a group of Bruins right at the line of scrimmage. Call it maybe a yard pickup to the 29. What do you call a group of Bears?
I don't know.
Yogi and Boo Boo? Second down and 9. Berryman along with Williams out wide to the left. McJunkins to the boundary right. McHenry's going to throw the toss down the field. Has McJunkins out there. Diving effort. Did he get his hands under it? Yes, they're going to call it a catch. McJunkins able to scoop it right off the turf. The catch will go to the 8-yard line from the 29. That's a 21-yard pass combination. McHenry to McJunkins. Another version of the Ruffers' Big Mac attack. And a first and goal to go. Kyle Edwards, GMC Rougher, first down and goal. See if Adams will get the play call here. Clock running with 6:23 and counting here in the fourth. Snap is back. Give it off to Adams, following a blocker inside. Trying to get close to the 5-yard line, and whistles sound on the end of the play.
Looks like he'll be stopped at the 6 maybe.
One of the Bruin defensive lineman lost his headgear, so he'll have to come off for at least a play. Where will they spot the football? At the 6, so a 2-yard pickup. 2nd and goal from that spot. And McHenry pulls it. He can go to the left and walk into the end zone.
Yep, nobody out there.
Steinle's going to this time hand it off again to Adams. He'll just try to fight straight ahead and get down to about the 5. So it'll be 3rd and goal from that spot. Clock continuing to wind down precious seconds tonight here at Custer Stadium. Glad to have many of you aboard with us here on this week number 6. Time has just raced by in this regular season campaign that started so frustrating for Dale Condit. After an 0-3 beginning, the Ruffers have come back against much different quality opponents, but still nonetheless taking care of their business in convincing fashion.
And the Ruffers have to call timeout now with the play clock running down.
So let's do the same. 4:47 left. We're back to Custer Stadium in 30 seconds on Ruffer Football 2025.
Folks, Kyle Edwards, GMC in Muskogee. I was born and raised in Muskogee. Our family has owned the GMC dealership for over 50 years. We take great pride in being in the Muskogee community. Things have changed over the years, but one thing remains the same, our desire to take care of our customers. Looking for a new GMC truck or SUV? We've got them, and you have our commitment to give you the best buying experience around. From sales, parts, or service, we are here for you. You have my promise to give you the best selection, best price, and the most for your trade-in at 1600 North Main in Muskogee or KyleEdwardsGMC.com.
Welcome back to Bartlesville. Bill Huddleston, Nick Hampton, and Ruffer TV bringing you the sights and sounds. Glad to have everybody joining us tonight here on the road. Invite the Ruffer Nation to join us on Thursday night, fall break, against Capitol Hill. That'll be a 7 p.m. start this Thursday. Ruffers now, after the timeout, face a 3rd and goal to go from the 4-yard line. Delgado with Adams to his right. Referee winds the clock. McHenry rolling around. If he just runs back to the short sideline, throws it short over here on the edge, and there's not a lot of running room. Is that McJunkins again? The catch was made. Demarion Berryman making the catch, but he's going to lose yardage, Nick. He came back to help his quarterback out, but in doing so lost 5 on the play. So it's 4th and goal to go from the 9. Like I said a moment ago, I think if Stylen just takes that one, pumps to his right, and then just sprints to the pylon, he could have walked in. See what the play call from Mason Fine will be in this scenario. McHenry calls for the snap, throws it out on the edge at the turf level. It was caught, but that was not far enough on the reception, and the Ruffers will turn over to Bartlesville. Well, they're going to call it incomplete, as Billy Williams was the targeted receiver. So where will they put the football? Well, Nick, they couldn't have been called incomplete because the previous line of scrimmage was the 9, so give Williams credit for the 4-yard reception and McHenry another completed pass. But it's short of the needed yardage for the end zone. And the ball goes over on downs with 4:07 to play. Now we'll see what kind of heart the Bruin quarterback, Michael Kent, who has just been battered and bruised all night long. He'll stand at his goal line. He'll turn around, look for Dayton. Stevens, yeah, that's what I was trying to say.
Yep.
Makes the carry and gets out to about the
11 or 12?
Looks like the 9.
9,
8 as they move it back, ready for play. The clock continuing to count down the precious seconds. Those homecoming crowd fans for the Bruins, many have since headed for homecoming night party somewhere. The Ruffer fans have remained loud and proud across the way. Stevens going to take the exchange and just try to get out on the edge and whether it's the first or the second unit, Rufford defense has just been too quick.
Loses about 3 back to the original line of scrimmage, it looks like.
That's Arthur Magnac, the third, in on that tackle. Looking forward to seeing your article in the upcoming issue of Vipe, Nick, about the Magnac family. 3 brothers who had a successful high school career, now all coaching. Their children all participating in rougher athletics. Kent going to roll to his right, looking to run or throw. Turns the corner, has a blocker in front. He'll sprint up across the 15 to about the 16-yard line, and that'll allow the chains to move. Michael Kent would have to get the Purple Heart as far as the Bruins are concerned, Nick, because while he has been statistically their leader, he's taking a beating here tonight. Now he'll throw a quick slant out on the edge, trying to dance away from would-be tacklers. Okie are going to get up to about the 25, maybe the 26. That time the receiver was Matthew Sears.
Close to the first down
It's
yardage.
just enough to move the sticks. And the clock counts under 2 minutes left to go tonight here in Bartlesville. Quick snap. Kent going to run, going to wait for his receiver to run downfield, throws it in the targeted area. Is it caught? I believe it is.
I think it is.
Yeah, nice catch out on the far boundary. I think that's Gavin Thomas on the reception.
All the way up to the 45-yard line. So
Buffer's trying to protect his shutout here, Nick, with 1.5 minutes left.
19 yards on that play.
Stevens out of an empty backfield. This is Kent on an empty backfield. Dancing around, sees an angle, decides to run upfield, and he'll slide to a stop. He'll go to the turf at the 48-yard line. About a 6-yard gain. Maybe 7, depending upon where they place it. Now with the running back behind him, Kent's going to hand it off. Stevens did a good job just to kind of double clutch it, Nick. He was
just about lost it,
bubbling the football as he took the handoff, and he's able to get downfield inside the 45 to the 43. That'll move the chains again. We're inside of a minute tonight here in Bartlesville. Bruins trying to speed things up a bit, try to make something happen late in the game and take that goose egg off the scoreboard. Kent looking over the rougher defensive lineup. 4 receivers to his right. Throws the deep route. Downfield, has a receiver out in space. It's bopped away.
Defending on the play was Adrian Billingsley for the Roughers.
Yeah, I was that fog right on the window just totally blocked me out. I couldn't tell the number from, all I could tell you was the white jersey, and I saw the ball bound away. So that'll stop the clock with 25 seconds. Now they'll wind it ready for play. And this would be, as expected, to be the final play of the game. And if I would be guessing, Mr. Kent will throw it as deep as he can. He'll run it. He'll hand it off. Ball carrier for the Bruins trying to get to the edge. It gets stood up right about the 37-yard line and stopped at that point with 3 seconds. Now 2, now 1. And that's going to do it. Muskogee Roughers come into Bartlesville. Score on the game's second play. And then after a quarter, turn a 6-0 lead to a 34-0 halftime victory. And then expand on that here in the second half with 2 scores and win it by the final count of 48-0. Stay tuned. Our post-game coverage of Rougher Football continues from Bartlesville. But first, this 3-minute timeout on Rougher Football 2025.
The world of education is driven by numbers. So is the one company more schools and universities call on when fire or water damage strikes. 1-800-SERVPRO. The #1 choice in commercial cleanup and restoration.
When it matters most. The name to remember? ServPro of Muskogee. 918-913-4490. Online at servpro.com.
There's never been a better time to find a great deal on a sedan, truck, or crossover at Nissan of Muskogee. Call 918-683-6605 or go to nissanofmuskogee.com. There's never been a better time to find a great deal on a sedan, truck, or crossover at Nissan of Muskogee. Call 918-683-6605 or go to nissanandmuskogee.com.
Proudly serving the elderly of the Muskogee community, Broadway Care Rehabilitation Center is a skilled nursing facility empowering better living through long-term care as well as many other respite care options. And coming soon to Broadway, the Memory Care Unit. At Broadway Care Rehabilitation, the amazing therapy department can help you or your loved one get back on their feet. Contracted with most major insurances, follow them on Facebook and see many of the enriching activities offered to the residents. Broadway Care Rehabilitation Center, proud to support the Muskogee Roughers.
Have you been injured as the result of a car accident? Has your family been impacted by the death of a loved one caused by someone else's negligence? Whatever you're dealing with, you don't have to face it alone. At 222 Injury Lawyers, our dedicated personal injury attorneys are here to fight for the justice and compensation you deserve. Call 918-528-0222.
In times of need, it's comforting to see faces of people you know and trust. Cornerstone Funeral Home in Muskogee cherishes the opportunity to be there for you and your family in life's most challenging times when friends are most important. Cornerstone Funeral Home and Crematory welcomes the opportunity to answer any questions regarding planning and pre-arrangements for you and your loved ones. Experience the difference. Cornerstone Funeral Home, 1830 North York in Muskogee, where you'll find faces you know and reputations you trust.
This land was a tapestry of Indian nations and tiny towns that grew into great cities. Bank First is loyal to the shared mission of growth and success that built Oklahoma. That's why in more than 50 communities statewide, our banks are run by local leaders who stick together and work hard to continue unlocking Oklahoma's great promise. Bank First, loyal to Oklahoma, loyal to you.
More exciting Rougher football was set on the game's second play from scrimmage when Marquise Chaplin took the handoff and raced 53 yards for the go-ahead score on the second play from scrimmage. It wouldn't continue at such a frantic pace throughout the remainder of the first 12 minutes, but then in the second quarter, the Roughers just took control of the ball game, and then when tempers flared a bit in the third quarter, things getting a little bit frayed, to say the least, but Muskogee tonight comes in and takes care of its business, Nick, as they pick up another district win, their third consecutive victory, another road win, the second in 3 district contests, with the final score of 48-0 over the Bartlesville Bruins, who continued to find defeat in the face of victory.
Checking final numbers here. All right, let's check some numbers here real quick. So for the Roughers tonight, they rushed the ball 33 times for 218 yards. Between Case and Delgado and Stalin McHenry, 13 of 20 passing, 2 touchdowns, 192 yards. So the Roughers with 410 yards of offense this evening. No fumbles lost, 11 penalties, however, for 80 yards. And how many were there that were offsetting or declined? Another 3 or 4 there. So lots and lots of flags tonight. Chaplin, the leading ground gainer, 15 carries for 128 yards tonight and 2 touchdowns for Marquise Chaplin. For Bartlesville tonight, 31 rushes for 37 yards, 4 of 11 passing, 9 of 21 passing for 116 yards total. So 37 rushing, 79 passing, 116 total for the Bartlesville Bruins is all they had on the night. 5 flags for 25 yards, and they really didn't have much of anybody that was what you'd call a leading rusher. Stevens ended up on the plus side, had 13 carries for 30 yards, so I guess he would be the leading ground gainer for the Bruins this evening, but the Roughers capitalize and get it all done. So that kind of takes care of that for the time being, and so the Roughers dominate the numbers and will go home with victory number 3 on the season.
I think this is a ball game that once the scoreboard tilted heavily in the Roughers' favor, you just wanted to see that running clock, and quite frankly, even though it requires a 50-point ledger or an agreement by the 2 coaches to speed it up, that didn't happen. And I think had they moved to running clock much earlier, we could have avoided some of this other nonsense that happened out on the field as tempers got frayed and players got tired. But certainly tonight here for Bartlesville, another frustrating evening for the men in blue and for the Ruffers. Although maybe not the prettiest of performances, it's a win, and that's all you can expect. And it's not only a win to go 3-0 in district play and 3-3 on the year, but you got the maximum 15 points. And now you're in a deadlock along with Sapulpa and
Sand
Springs more than likely. So things just continue to play out as expected. But tonight here in Bartlesville, Ruffers get the victory by the final count of 48-0. Time now for us to pick our Buffalo Wild Wings player of the game, Nick. You got to look over on the defensive side. There were some guys. Hayden Von Holt was in the face of the quarterback all night long. Arias Parrish was one of those guys making a difference. Some of those guys just totally stymied Bartlesville's offense till late in the ballgame, some late yardage by the Bruins. But really, you can always look at the offensive side. You can see players like Marquise Champlin, who had a plus 100-yard night running the football. But I don't know about you, but how do you feel about handing out it to a defensive player?
I wouldn't object to that. I mean, they got the shutout tonight, second in a row.
That's second in a row. That's unanswered, 8 quarters of scoreless football.
So they have played lights-out football and really kind of inspired this team, I think, to a large degree. So, yeah, just zeroing in on who it might be, I think, is the deal.
Well, my guy is going to be Hayden Von Holt. I think up front, he and Kyron Cope were just way too much of a challenge for the Bruin offensive linemen to protect their quarterback. And the quarterback, Michael Kent, deserves a Purple Heart because tonight he's kind of like that Timex watch. He took a beating, and he kept on ticking because he never quit throughout the remainder of the night. But my guy for the Buffalo Wild Wings player of the game, who also dominated on the offensive line of scrimmage, Hayden Von Holt.
That plays both ways. Yeah, I would agree with that. Good call, I think. Give the defense their due tonight.
48-0 the final score tonight here in week number 6. Ruffers now 3-3, 3-0 in league play. We'll go back home. Don't forget, it's not Friday. It's Thursday night. It's fall break this upcoming week. The Ruffers will be at the Village for a 7 o'clock kickoff against Capitol Hill. Thanks to our Ruffer TV crew, as always, doing a great job of bringing you the sights and sounds of tonight's action. And we thank you for joining us tonight here from Custer Stadium. For my broadcast friend, Nick Hampton, I'm Bill Huddleston saying so long from Bartlesville. Ruffers get win number 3, 48-0 over Bartlesville. And as always, it's a great day to be a Ruffer. Good night, everybody. See you Thursday at the Village.